Hi, welcome to the Brick Filmers Guild podcast, hosted by us, the Four Monkeys. On this podcast, we had the extreme pleasure of chatting with Andreas Bitson of A&M Studios and Alexander Leitner of Lego Studio 01. They are the team of brick filmers that are best known for their Steiner-winning films such as Time for Sale, Night Times, Endangered, and Murder in the Arena. I want to give an extra quick shout out to our wonderful Patreon supporters, Spuggastew, Something's Awry Productions, Frame 5 Studios, Mind Game Studios, Dark Dragon Films, Forest Fire 101, Sanjira, Spencer Katz, and Paganimation. We can't thank you enough for supporting our podcast. This podcast is sponsored by Bricker. Bricker is an add-on for the free software Blender that converts any 3D object into a photorealistic, buildable Lego sculpture. You can also use Bricker to generate awesome Lego animations such as rivers, explosions, motion graphics, and more. We were amazed with the stunning brick animations and renders that we made utilizing Bricker and the other Blender plugins by Bricks Brought to Life. His other must-have add-ons are ABS plastic Lego materials, which make the Blender models look like real Lego bricks, and Assemble Me, which is Lego animation made easy. Learn more at bricksbroughttolife.com. If you would like to help support our podcast, you can do so by becoming a Patreon supporter. Get podcasts at least a week before anyone else and other perks only available to our Patreon supporters. So, without further ado, here's our conversation with Andreas and Alexander. Good afternoon, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, thanks for having us. Hello there, across the globe.
Yes, across the globe. It's 9 o'clock in the morning for us here. I guess it's 3 p.m.
3 p.m. exactly, yeah.
So what's it like in the future? Is it so bright that you have to wear sunglasses?
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Glasses.
Definitely a bright
glasses.
future ahead.
So that will make more sense to everyone else later in the podcast. But yeah, couldn't resist that one. Thank you. So joining us today, we have here, I'll let you guys introduce yourself so everybody can know what name goes to what voice.
From Vienna, we have...
So which one is in Vienna? Is it?
That would be me. I'm Alexander Leitner.
Okay.
From Lego Studio 01, or in English that would be Lego Studio 01.
I love it.
My name is Andreas Bitson. I'm phoning from Klagenfurt in the south of Austria, and my studio name is A&M Studios.
Wonderful. Awesome. This is cool. I think this is, what do we say, the fourth or fifth time that we've had more than one person, so it's really exciting for us.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We're excited as well.
Yeah, and if I looked at our notes correct and the YouTube notes, I believe today is, Andreas, your 10-year...
10th anniversary for YouTube.
Actually, my 10-year anniversary, I didn't even know that.
The happy anniversary!
August 13th, 2009.
Yeah.
Happy anniversary.
Oh, wow. It's at this date exactly.
Yeah,
wow,
10
we
years.
couldn't have picked a better date.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
Amazing.
We should get some donuts to celebrate.
Yeah, there we go.
Thank you very much. I will.
And I believe, Alexander, you and your brother started your YouTube account about a year later
exactly,
in 2010.
In 2010, so I think it should be the 9th anniversary this year.
Okay.
In November, I think.
Okay.
But we've been making some brick films before that, but
right,
yeah, also
notes,
almost 10 years.
Yeah, my notes say that, Andreas, y'all started in 2008.
Yeah, that's... I started making brick films in 2008 around then, but I was active in the child filming industry a bit earlier as well.
Wow.
Okay, cool.
That's a long time. Cool. That's actually just about the same amount of time as us, just 1 year less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you guys know each other?
Oh, that's a funny story.
Interesting.
May I tell the story?
Yeah, sure. Tell it.
Yeah, it's way back. It was way back in November 2011, actually, when Alexander was commenting on my YouTube account because I was making brick films and I was already participating in the Steinerei, one of the most famous brick film festivals here in Europe or in the German speaking region. And Alexander commented on my YouTube videos like he was as well from Austria and he'd like to get some tips from me and where do I come from. And there was also this feature, the YouTube direct message back then. I don't know if it's still available.
It's not, but I
messaged
remember
me,
that, yeah.
I'm not sure about that, but he messaged me and he asked me like, where do you come from? Yeah, I come from Carinthia. I didn't want to tell the city straight away. And we managed to figure out that we are actually from the same city in the same country. And it was
Wow.
a really huge...
10 minutes away with the car, so
yeah,
almost neighbors, you could say.
Wow,
we're
that's
almost
crazy.
neighbors, and we met each other through YouTube comment section basically. And there are not many brick filmers in Austria, so that was a very huge fortune for us, I would say.
That was
And
such a
ever since then,
wonderful
we
thing.
knew that we had to team up.
Yeah.
And you both also work with your brothers as well. You both have brothers, so both of you have
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Exactly. That's how it started out. Like Andreas was doing with his brother Michael, working together, and I was doing the brick films with my brother Thomas. And yeah, then we became a team of 4 people, and then everybody had their own role, and it just worked out great. Yeah.
Our parents were very skeptical at the first place because we met people online and we tried to meet up in real life, and they were coming with us and checking everything if this is all right and so on.
I mean, when we met, we were probably 13, 14, and yeah, our brother is probably 11 years old.
Yeah.
So it was like a bit... I think my parents, because we met at Andreas' house, so my parents stayed in the car, they watched who's approaching, is it, I don't know, maybe not
Some
even
creepy
a
dude
child,
from the internet.
creepy dude. But no, it worked out great, so...
That's very good parenting. I would have done the same. In fact, I actually would have gone inside the house with you, so...
Yeah.
Nice to hear, yeah.
Yeah, no, that is so cool.
Yeah, it's a really big fortune for us.
And you guys, it seems like you're really good friends. You seem like you have a lot of fun when you're all brick filming together.
Oh yeah, we
Definitely.
we do have some fun for sure.
You even
So,
have t-shirts,
was
right?
great. Yeah, that's true, yeah. We made some years back when we first participated together in the Steinerei, we wanted to really appear as a team. So we both like the color yellow, also with minifigures, you've got a lot of yellow.
Mm-hmm.
So we just went with yellow t-shirts with our logos and then also with our names on it. And of course, with Mr. Glasses from our series. So that's like our team outfit.
Yeah. So if I'm not incorrect, I believe, Andreas, you did one entry in Steinerei 2011. Steinerei 2011, Dr. Chaos.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
after
That was my first participation.
Right. After that, you guys have been a team on Steinerei the whole rest of the way, right?
Steinerei.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We
yeah.
just kind of didn't want to be rivals at the festival, so I don't know.
That's why we had to team up.
I would never forgive Alexander if he took my trophy, and he would never forgive me. So we just had to team up.
So we'll go to your first team up with, or I guess you had Perfect, and I guess was that the first time y'all teamed up, or was Glasses the first time?
I think it was actually glasses because we wanted to start out with a smaller thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we made most of the glasses parts before we participated in the Steinerei. So glasses 1, 2, maybe 3 or something. I went before that. Yeah. And yeah, then we just, the Steinerei came around and then we wanted to take part in that.
We kind of tried to get used to each other earlier and then go for the good animations in our first participation.
Yeah.
And where did you do your animation?
Well, in the first place, we were starting in the living room of my parents. We blocked the whole table. We couldn't eat for some weeks at the dining table. And yeah, we built our sets there, but later on we had an own brick filming room in the cellar of my house, and we also filmed at Alexander's place, so we're just mixing up everything every time.
But most of the time nowadays it's at Andreas' place.
Yeah.
Because he's got a room there, and usually when we need more Lego, we just take it from our home, because as I said, we aren't living that far apart. So yeah, we just, most of the time film there.
But I have to also express my gratitude to our parents who were that patient with our settings on the dining table.
Well, I'm sure once they've seen your finished products, they were very happy to have supported such brilliant teamwork. So.
Yeah, it's also quite great that they also supported us for through all these years, and they're really great supportive parents, I have to say.
And provided us with enough Lego bricks. Every birthday, every Christmas, we get a lot of Lego, so...
Yeah, you've got a bunch of the modulars, the big buildings.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
Yeah.
I think we have most of them. I don't think of the newer ones, I think we're missing some, but of all the old things, even the green grocer, we got everything.
Oh, so, you got that one. The green grocer. There's one before that it's really hard to get.
The blue one or something.
The blue one,
exactly.
Yeah,
we also have that, so...
Yeah, a couple of the new ones I don't like as much because they just don't quite match.
That's true, yeah. I mean, the diner is very off.
Yeah.
I agree.
I would say.
And I don't like the other one that's on the larger set piece because there's a big hole in the middle, and I usually like to use those as backdrops. And it's like, oh, I got to put a backdrop behind my backdrop.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Sounds annoying, yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't get those. But anyway, back to Perfect.
Okay.
Did you guys attend that festival in Germany?
The Steinerei?
The 2012. Did you go up to Germany?
Yeah, we actually traveled all the way to Hamburg in the north of Germany.
So from the very south of Austria, we went to the very north of Germany. But it was like the only reason for us to go there, because we wanted to go there in the first place. Our parents said, first we have to make a movie and then maybe we can go. And after we finished the movie, they decided, let's go there and see it for ourselves.
Yeah, it was an amazing experience.
Was
that
I
think.
A car drive or a train ride?
Actually by plane, I think.
Oh, by plane!
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
we went to Cologne by plane, and then we traveled by train the rest of that journey, so it was mixed up as well.
Because that'd be about
true.
a 6 to 8 hour train ride otherwise, right?
Yeah, from Cologne, it's, I think, 3 hours to Hamburg, so we just flew over there. The flight was not even 2 hours long, and then 3 hours train drive, so it's all right, I think.
Okay.
And,
doable,
both of your families went there with you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
everyone. All the siblings, all their parents.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, I very much envy the Steinerei community, the Brick Film Festival, just because it's just really neat how all you guys get together in the German-speaking community and put on this festival it's really neat what y'all do.
Yeah, it's a great get-together every year, and we also appreciate our friends. We've made a lot of friends through this Brick Film Festival as well, and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's always nice to see them each year, at least. I mean, once a year. But I still remember the first time we went there, we were so excited because we're meeting all these brick filmers for the first time, which we enjoyed their movies and everything, and now we got to meet the people behind the film. So
yeah, we were pretty young and unexperienced, and they were the big professionals, and we were so excited and to take part and to be a part of this.
Well, it seems like they liked you a lot because didn't you win the audience award?
Yeah, exactly. We did. Yeah.
And
so that was voted by the audience, so they must have liked it, yeah.
That must have been a really cool experience to see your brick film and everybody watching it and see their reactions. Isn't that like a surreal experience?
Yeah, that's also like the point of our films. The point of our films is also to make people laugh, and we love to hear laughing in the theater. Then
it's so nice when you see a gag that you planned out and suddenly everybody laughs at it. You're like, yeah, that worked out perfectly.
Yeah, that's really
enjoyed
awesome. And plus, I got to voice in that, so thank you for including me.
Yeah.
But yours probably wasn't played there. Yours was the English
one.
one.
True, I know, but still.
But I think Stefan...
We did it after we won it, yeah.
Stefan did both of the English and the German version, correct?
That's true. It's, I think, the only film that we translated into English. I don't know why, but we were just so happy that we won a prize that we wanted to share it with everybody, I guess.
And I think we just got kind of lazy with translating.
or that.
Now, with Stefan, did you get to meet him there?
I had the chance to meet Stefan earlier in Cologne in the Lego Fan World. I don't even know what's it called in English. Lego Fan World, where a lot of AFOs are meeting up and building great things together. I met him earlier, so I was familiar with Stefan, but I think Alexander, your first time.
It was the first time meeting him, yeah. And he was definitely one of the guys that I looked up to and it was just so nice to meet him there.
Yeah, we still look up to him today.
So do we.
Great.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, I think we all do. He's amazing, and he was, wonderful to have on our podcast as well. And he was
we actually listened to that podcast when we were making our last Steinerei film.
So I'm sure you had a good laugh there listening to us try to.
Oh, definitely. Especially at all the pronunciations.
Oh, yeah.
Just kidding.
No, it's true. It's true. We laugh at ourselves, and I laugh at Dave even more.
And I think that's not only was Kim in that, but I think that's when I also noticed your work, because that was you entered it in the BFG 2012 BFG, and it was called Animation Festival instead of Film Festival back then. But you were nominated for Best Cinematography. You guys have really done an excellent job with your builds and all your camera shots.
Thank you.
For a long
Thank you
time.
very much.
Yeah, and your stories. I mean, do you guys write your stories? They're very creative, wonderful stories.
Thanks. So glad to hear that.
Very nice to hear.
And especially in Perfect, I don't want to give it away, but it has a very, it's a surprise ending, and I like that. Along with the funny parts and just beautifully animated, it has a great surprise ending, so...
Yeah, we're even kind of surprised of ourselves because we were way back then. We were pretty young, and it has a kind of deep meaning, I think, for this young age. So we're kind of impressed by ourselves sometimes.
I rewatched it yesterday for the first time in a few years, and I was kind of impressed myself because I imagined that it would be much pretty bad animation, worse actually. But we figured it out pretty early, I would say.
I remember that we were trying pretty hard to make our first smooth walking animation. We were training for some days, and we tried really hard to get the animation going.
What camera and software were you using back then to animate?
Oh my god.
I think the Logitech camera, what's it called? Pro 9000, I think.
Okay.
Because a lot of brick filmers were using that at the time. So Andreas had bought that one. And software, I think we used Pinnacle Studio.
Yeah, we had the Pinnacle Studio, I remember.
Yeah. Okay.
It was way easier than many of the software products nowadays, and it was perfectly suiting for us, but the quality was not that fine. But it's alright.
Yeah, there's some things I miss about my QuickCam 9000. You could get it into some really close spots, and in fact, a lot of good filmers are using webcams these days. My biggest complaint is it just didn't deal with reds, the color red, very well. Sometimes it turned pink. Oh, and I didn't like my webcam for that reason. Otherwise, I love sticking it, a few centimeters away from the Lego piece and getting that close shot, which I can't really do. What kind of camera and software are you using now for frame capture?
Well, now as a camera, we've got a Sony Alpha. I think it's 6300 or something.
And that's a DSLR?
Excuse me?
Is that a DSLR camera?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. I don't want to say something wrong, but definitely no webcam.
It's one of those big professional-looking cameras.
We used some cameras from Canon, so already with.
I've used the 600D for a long time, and now we switched to Sony because the quality is even better.
And also the camera is still quite small, so sometimes you can fit it into the set if the set is big enough.
Ah, cool. And what software?
I also think one of the main reasons why we switched to the DSLR or the bigger cameras was because of the dark scenes, and the webcam is not that good at the light, making the light brighter in the dark night.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was also the first time that you got like a real DSLR camera was because you wanted to shoot something dark, and it was so fuzzy and so.
Yeah, that was a professional video.
Yeah.
I was making a music video for a musician at the time, and the webcam just wasn't good enough.
Cool.
And now sometimes when I go back to the webcam, because some time ago I didn't have my camera on me, so I wanted to make a film with a webcam, and now I just can't see the quality anymore. It's so bad.
Once you get used to it, you can never go back to webcams.
Well, there are some folks going back. I think
Forrest uses both.
Forrest uses both, and it just depends on what he's doing as to whether or not he uses a webcam or a DSLR.
Yeah, but I think that's a rather professional webcam.
I'd like a 4K webcam. I'd like to try to get a hold of one just to see what it's like. and it's just a matter of having to buy one. Yes.
All right, now this is has nothing to do with anything other than me just going, oh wow, this is really cool. But on Skype here, every time one of you talks, it actually lights up your face, so it's actually showing me which one of you is talking.
Oh, that's cool.
And
nice.
So I think that's really cool. Okay, yeah. All right.
Useful feature.
Back to the kind of the technology stuff.
That was technology.
Yeah, which software? What software do you use for frame capture?
Now we're using Dragon Frame.
Ah, good,
Nice,
good.
yeah.
Okay.
Switched to Dragon Frame about 2 years ago. Is it already
Okay.
2 years? I don't even know.
I think so, yeah.
Rather late. We came rather late to the party because we were just we were focusing on the Canon software, and it was alright for us. But the same as with the webcam, now we can't go back once you get used to Dragon
Yeah,
Frame.
that's true.
It's really nice.
Yeah. Dragon Frame is a wonderful piece of software.
Yeah.
Cool.
Especially now for recent movies, it's just so nice that you can always go back. And I don't want to plug them here, but it really helps a lot if you can just go back the frames and play it again and again. And then you can see, like, if I move it in this direction, will the animation still look nice, or do I need to delete a frame or something? It works pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, no, everybody loves it. In fact, if we got like $1 for every time we plugged them on our podcast, we could probably retire, right?
Oh,
Yeah, I reached out to them a while back about getting a sponsorship, but they weren't quite interested at the time.
well,
I'll try again. Maybe a
maybe if we
different
plug them some
representative.
more, then
Yeah, I'd love to plug them at the beginning of our podcast, but
yeah,
because I love their software and I think it's wonderful for what we do.
definitely.
Well, if we can just quickly dive back into glasses, since it kind
Oh, of course.
it straddles
Yeah.
it straddles perfect. I'm just going to run through these real fast, and we'll stay on the 10th one for a second one. But
And it's a fun series. You've got 10
and most of them are really
episodes.
short, except the last one, which is this wonderful fight scene. But the first one, I love the fan going. The second one, the extension of the modular so that the streets connect good to the modular sets. So you extended the sidewalk, which I thought looked great. Was in the third one, I think the flickering TV on the guy's face and the mob shot was cool. The fourth one, I love the build of the farm. The fifth one, I love the blinking eyes. The sixth one, it's a wrap. Seventh one, hey, gotta love lens flare. Eighth one, hey, it went backwards at one point. Ninth one, love the tree chopping. And the 10th one, we'll talk about some. There was one point where a Lego minifigure was breathing heavy, and you could see his chest going in and out like he was breathing. How did you do that? Was that After Effects?
I think that was just probably Photoshop. We usually do these kinds of effects in Photoshop. I think we just cut out a piece of his chest, and then we enlarged it a bit, and then even more, and exported it frame by frame, and then we played it all in reverse. So we made his chest bigger, and then we reversed it, and then it was normal. So.
And is that a similar effect to the way you do your mustache movements in other movies?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
So
your attention to detail on those kind of things is absolutely brilliant and amazing. It's like I've never seen anything like it before.
but
Thank you. That's very
Thank you.
flattering.
but the money shot from the 10th episode, the part I loved the most was when the guy with the chainsaw is attacking him, and he's leaned back over the edge of the building, and you see the street below him with the chainsaw flying above his head. I love that shot.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, actually, with this film, all the backdrops, everything that's behind the characters, it was made by Dominic from Rainlight Animations, because he's very good with Blender, and we asked him to make this all in Blender. So when he's leading above the street is not real. That was just a green screen, and also the city in the back was all done in post-production.
Was that where I said the very last scene where you see the beautiful sun and all the cars that were going by? Yeah, that was a beautiful scene at the end.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but it was all Blender. So
I'm curious also about the in the fight scene, the broken bottle.
Lego.
The Lego bottle. The glass, the glass.
Yeah.
Did it come that way, or I've never seen that before?
I think we ordered it from Firestar Toys. It's a web page where you can have these custom elements. It was
So that's not a Lego product. That's something different.
No, it's not an original Lego product, but it looks like one.
Yeah, no, it was perfect for a fight scene. I was like, wow, that is so, because you see so many people in movies doing that, and I just thought that was a nice addition. Again, attention to detail. It's amazing.
I'm kind of feeling like we're time traveling right now because I haven't watched these movies for so long.
Isn't it nice? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
you remember most of the details.
Yeah, it's great.
You guys are in the future anyway, right now to us. Yeah. So we'll just go back and forth. And
if anybody wants to look up anything on the glasses, there's a glasses wiki. I believe the website can be found on the A&M Studios YouTube, one of the little icons in the corner. I believe you can get to that. So if you want to know more about that, it's a fun series. But
I haven't seen that website in so long.
I'd really like to mention since you were talking about paying attention to details, I'd really like to mention that our Mr. Glasses is one of our big logos and Easter eggs in our movies.
And we've noticed that.
He appears in every following movie we ever made after that. So you just have to pay attention and look closely. He's in every one of the films.
Or at least a reference to glasses.
Yeah.
And most of the time he's there.
I think in Murder in the Arena there's just a reference, but most of the time he's actually in there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun to have Easter eggs like that, and we definitely did notice that. So good to check out the Glasses series, and you'll enjoy watching all the rest of the movies after that. So.
And who says the line?
It's me. It's actually my 13-year-old me with lower pitched voice.
Okay, and that was Andreas?
Yeah,
okay,
Andreas.
Okay. Glasses.
Glasses.
Can you say it once?
Let's try it, Andreas.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Glasses. I don't even know if it's that good.
Super
There's
awesome.
some voice pitch missing.
Oh, and yeah, some of your earlier films we're really not going to go into, but love your voices in that. The child's voices. It's
our child voices back then. It's like a time capsule.
Oh yeah.
Our voices back then.
Work. Yeah, we also Glasses was also a really big experience for us as a team to go further with animating and trying out new things and even the mouth animation. So it was a great start for our teamwork.
Well, you might have had younger voices, but you never had young stories, because the stories are just so amazing and so much, older than what you would expect from, the young kids.
I think it's mostly because of the festival. Like, we always had this pressure. We have to bring up something good, and we really put a lot of effort into creating these stories.
Yeah, if I had to say, also, if you guys had as like a superpower on your brick filming, your facial animation, whether it be just a piece replacement, part replacement, or actually going in and I guess either After Effects or Photoshop, and I think you did it in Photoshop. Yeah. Oh my gosh, your facial animation. I don't know if there's anybody doing better than you guys.
Yeah, it's not just the eyes blinking. You got the eyebrows and
the eyebrows, a sweat of a bead of sweat dropping down a face, or the mustache moving. It's
very nice to hear that you also notice these details, because I'm not quite sure if everyone is checking what we are doing.
Yeah, it's mind blowing. It's so beautiful.
And like I said, you guys are doing that in Photoshop. Is that correct?
That's right. Yeah.
Not in After Effects.
No, we sometime, I think also like in the Glasses era, we started just by using Photoshop with just painting the mouth and then laying another mouth on top of it and then doing that frame by frame. So every time a person or a Lego figure is speaking and someone else is moving, then we really import every frame, retexture that, like paint over the mouth, put the other mouth, and then keep going for several hours.
Wow.
So our big reference is Old Scratch. I don't know if you know this brick filmer, like Oblong Pictures.
Oblong
English
Pictures,
guy, right?
He's the great inspiration for our mouth animation, because we always watched his movies when we were children, and we tried to figure out how he does it, and this was our only way to come up to this animation, and we tried our own way with Photoshop, and it worked out.
Do you ever use a blank face, or are you just putting the mouth over the mouth that's on the minifigure's head?
Well, in recent films, we've always started to put a blank head just for reference, that we can check the lighting, and then sometimes we just put on the rest of it. But most of the times we just try to erase it with like I don't know what's it called. There's a certain tool to copy patterns in Photoshop, so we try to copy it from a blank head just to cover the mouth, that it looks kind of realistic. But yeah, most of the times we just take a picture for reference.
Okay.
Well, it's very, very realistic. So, yeah, I guess you're just going to have to keep doing what you're doing as long as it takes, because it works.
Yeah, that's also a thing. I mean, when we started doing this, now there's no going back, because we're so used to this kind of quality in our own movies that we really liked them moving their mouths, their eyebrows, and everything, that we always have to keep doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, we cannot really go back to no mouth animation.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I would like to do more blinking and eyebrows and things like that. It just looks very, very painful to do.
It's really painful to do, but it's okay because you don't have to be near each other. You can just make it at home. We don't have to meet up for it. So
True, yeah.
It's okay.
Especially now that we're living apart, it's much easier, because when you're done with filming, then these things can just happen anywhere. So
okay,
it's kind of nice.
If we can go into this, I know in the beginning you guys were working in like a group of 4. I think you guys are not as, I think as maybe 2 or 3 of you as much now, but when you were a group of 4 working on these videos, who did what?
Basically our smaller brothers were like building sets and so on. I think they always were a bit more creative than us regarding set design and so on. So they were building, they were
also coming up with ideas.
Yeah, exactly. They were just coming up with ideas as well. And like it's nowadays as well, Alexander is the main professional for animating, and I'm the main professional for cutting and editing sound.
Okay.
True, yeah.
So
Nice.
we never really talked about who does what. It just happened, I think.
Have y'all animated together as a team where both you have more than one person animating?
Yeah, these are the scenes where these are the rare scenes where we animate where more persons are animating, but most of the time now Alexander.
Sometimes exactly. Nowadays it's mostly me, but otherwise we did it that we changed. So if I was tired of animating, then I would just ask Andreas, and I would take the photos for him, or one of the brothers would take the photos, and I can relax a little bit, and then we just switch, and I'll animate the next scene. But yeah, nowadays it's mostly me then animating, my brother taking the pictures, or Andreas taking the pictures, and yeah, that's how it goes. Kind of everybody has found their role now.
That is awesome.
Yeah, nice. I bet you wish you had somebody that you could pass out. He just has to do everything.
Yeah. Yeah. One time we actually thought of working all night, that one person sleeps at the daytime, and then the other person, and then the person who sleeps at daytime animates at night, and then the person who animates the whole day, he gets to sleep at night. But we didn't do that.
Yeah.
It's just an idea.
Cool.
That's fun.
Yeah, we're kind of stressed out because we're currently studying in different cities all across Austria, and we had to make a very intensive brick filming week in the Easter time, and we're filming every day around 12 or 13 hours
Wow.
to get this done. And
For our most recent film, yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, we're gonna stay back, and we're gonna go to 2013 now. Night
Okay.
Times. This won the audience and the Brick Filmer Award at Steinerei.
Steinerei.
Yeah.
I know, I'm going to
to
say it every time.
It also received 6 nominations at the BFG Film Festival, and won Best Screenplay, and was the Best Non-English Language winner also.
Yeah, it's still a great honor for us
Yes.
to this day.
And it also won some, looks like some festivals or competitions in Austria, and I don't even know if I want to pronounce these. Partner Landesmeisterschaft Day
It's not
Amateur
that bad.
Films.
It's pretty close, yeah.
Go ahead.
No, it would be Landesmeisterschaft.
Ooh,
Okay.
Landesmeisterschaft.
Pretty close, I must say.
And that won a silver medal in that. And then you go.
Staatsmeisterschaft? I don't know.
Yeah,
It's actually a competition from the state, like Staatsmeisterschaft, states
pretty cool.
competition.
It's from all of Austria. The Landesmeisterschaft would just be the province, I think, if that's the correct region. And then the Staatsmeisterschaft is from the whole state. So
Yeah, so it's a
Austria.
filming competition, not for brick films, for every kind of.
Exactly, yeah.
And that's
And you got first place
what's
for
really
that one.
interesting. This was not going against brick films; it was going against all films, and it's still
Yeah.
placed. So that is
True.
excellent. And
Thank you.
believe you were also a finalist at Cinebrick for the under 16 category, which is incredible. I guess you were probably about 14 or 15 making that, so that's awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
And I've got another note. What is it? First Youth Film Festival, Fiberbrunn 2000.
Yeah.
That might have been
it was
something
also
late.
from the States festival.
So,
Austrian.
so also against other.
There's their own category for young people, and we placed there as well.
Association of Austrian Film Authors.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
And did you win a prize for that?
Yeah, the prize was, I think, some kind of trophy. I have it at home, but like you don't get money or anything, but it's more of an honor to get a prize there, to go on stage. Maybe I don't know if we were at that, but
did you win any prizes like where you won like a whole bunch of software for free?
No.
I don't think so. No,
I don't even think there is such festival in Austria where you can win software.
Okay.
Not
Yeah,
sure,
but
no.
it's a huge honor to win, and that particular video got so many awards and nominations, and obviously for good reason. It was a brilliant, brilliant video that everybody needs to watch.
What's interesting about that one is the set looks absolutely huge.
Yeah, the set was actually this huge, so it was, I think, one of the last times we did such a big set.
Yeah, it covered the whole table. Yeah.
Yeah, it was across the whole table, and we just moved the camera throughout the movie, so there was no own settings for the later part or so on. There was this whole set, and we made the whole film in this one set.
Awesome.
And again, the story, amazing, just like all your stories. They're just so creative and so, unique. And it actually kind of reminded me of The Princess Bride. I don't know if you've seen that movie, but it kind of had the Princess Bride feel to it. Have you ever seen that?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Maybe it has another title in German, but I don't think so.
Yeah, well,
the one with Andre the Giant, you would remember that if you saw a movie with him, because he wasn't in a lot of movies.
I don't think so.
He played the giant. If you haven't seen Princess Bride,
you need to
watch
see
it.
that.
It's a brilliant movie.
Okay,
it's
I will.
kind of
I
neat
will.
because
Thanks for the recommendation.
It starts out with the little boy who's in bed, and it's actually his grandfather that's reading him a story. So it kind of reminded me of that.
Oh, okay. Interesting to know.
Yeah, no, you
Brilliant
definitely
minds think alike.
Exactly. Yeah, you need.
Yeah, it's like, do you know the movie Bedtime Stories with Adam Sandler? It's also
Oh,
quite
right,
similar.
yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
And-
no, awesome.
And did y'all attend the festival that year for?
Yeah, I think we
Shining
attended every festival except the last one.
Except the last
Yeah,
one, the
true.
2019. Okay, all right.
That's exciting. I wish we could do that. Maybe we just need to move there. I'm okay with that.
or just fly out for the festival. I mean,
Yeah.
No, I'd rather move there.
We tried to get
We can't
some
afford it.
sponsorship from Lego, and you guys can come over.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That sounds good. I like that.
So I have some notes here. I guess you've worked with, was it Dominique of Rainlight?
Dominic.
Yeah, exactly.
Dominic of Rainlight. And is that just him at Rainlight, or is there another person
Does
at
he have a
Rainlight
brother too?
or a partner?
He has a sister, but she's not brick filming.
Yeah.
So Reynard is also consisting of two people, and the second one is Markus Engel, and he is one of our best friends in the brick filming community. But Dominic is the one with the cool blender animations.
Okay.
Yeah,
and
I think
even back
sadly,
then-
he hasn't done much recently. I don't think, has
Yeah.
he? He came
So
very
the whole,
close to
the
winning
whole
the
German
BFG
brick film
festival.
community is kind of sleeping right now.
Yeah, I think they're pretty busy with other stuff, so
Mm-hmm.
probably no time. But I'm sure if we were to ask for another Blender animation, he would gladly do it.
Yeah,
I think.
I'm hoping he makes some more brick films, because I really loved his brick films in the past, and he almost won the Brick Filmers Guild Film Festival a few years back with I think the
Yeah,
Train
true.
Going to Hell one or whatever.
Yeah.
That blew me away.
It was insane, yeah.
Yes, it was.
So
Yes,
they're
it was.
amazing in making VFX effects, and yeah, we really appreciate their work.
Yeah, they really got their own style of film going. It's always, like, especially at the Steinerei, you've got so many styles and so many films, but usually when they entered, it was a very special film that you really remembered it from the style, I think. So let's hope that they return sometime.
I hope
Yeah,
so. I
definitely.
hope so.
Otherwise, it's up to you guys to you got to keep it going.
Yeah, yeah.
The pressure is on.
I also have a note here, and it's another German language words. Wir können acht anders. Did you make an interactive YouTube special for another channel?
Oh, wow. Nice that you found that one out. Yeah, I've made an interactive YouTube video for this organization. It was from the region near our city for anti-alcoholic beverages, and I made a game against these to advertise these kind of drinks.
Okay. Is that a commission video or just?
I got. It was a real. I got paid for it, so it was
excellent.
A commission. Yeah.
Nice.
Awesome. And the only bad thing about that is YouTube has changed, and now
that's really sad.
Oh, it's so sad that anybody that
did
put
the interactive videos
they don't work anymore.
I've had 2 other interactive videos, but I've already taken them down because YouTube disabled the feature.
Yeah, it is a shame.
And speaking about money and commissions, you know where this is going. A Peter Sachs video called Money. It's an official video. Love the video. It was awesome. It kind of reminded me.
Thank you very much.
Of was it Dylan? What's the guy in Canada?
Woodley.
Dylan Woodley.
Yeah,
true.
It reminded me a little of his video he made a few years back.
Dylan Woodley is also a great inspiration for our videos or for our technology we are using.
Mm-hmm. What I loved in there, the song was really cool to begin with.
Yeah, that was a really good song. I'd never heard it before, and I really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's a small Austrian musician.
And was that a commission video too?
Yeah, it was a commission video as well. I also did a metal music video about a year ago, also for commission.
And that was just you, Andreas, right? No,
that was just me. Yeah,
okay.
I was just helping out.
I got contacted over the internet, and I just had the help of Alexander for some shots, but
that's cool.
It's mainly me.
So that's awesome. So he contacted you, or they contacted?
Yeah, they contacted me over my YouTube channel. So they saw some videos of mine, and they wanted the video.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's really amazing.
Yeah, I really dug that video.
We had the money with the money falling down, because that was
raining
really,
money. That effect.
That was a really cool shot.
How did you achieve that effect?
Yeah, I can once again reference to our great friend Dominic.
I thought it looked a little digital.
I contacted him. I need some dollar bills flying down, and it was around 2 hours later. And he already sent me the frames.
Awesome.
Wow.
And have you guys ever played around with Blender at all?
I tried once. I imported some pre-made models and tried to animate them, but I think I only spent about 1 hour and that's it.
In my last music video I did last year, the metal one, the metal music video, I tried with a friend of mine to create a Lego ocean in Blender, and it kind of worked out. It looks okay, I'd say.
Oh, okay.
But why do that when you have Dominic, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Okay.
All right, we'll kind of move on to Time for Sale. This was your
all right, yeah.
Steinerei.
2014, and you would have attended. You won the jury and the audience award. And if you don't mind, can you tell us what the jury award is, what the audience award is, and the other one?
Got second.
The Brick Filmer Award.
Brick Filmer. Yeah, sure. Like the jury award, usually at the Steinerei, you've got about 3 people. They're coming from different kinds of fields. Like you would have someone who's interested in journalism, or who's a journalist, or somebody who's working at the movies, or who is working at the national, broadcast station, or just someone who's a film friend, I would say, yeah. And these people, they usually are at the Steinerei, and then they watch, with the audience, they watch every movie, and then they give their rating, and then they kind of pick 3 movies.
3 judges, basically, that see the films for the first time as well.
Okay.
And that would be like the jury prize. Then you have the Brickfilmer Wertung, so the Brickfilmer's prize, which is just judged by the other Brickfilmers. So as a Brickfilmer, you see the other films beforehand, and then you have to give them points. Okay. Of course, you can't give your own movie.
Do you know the European Song Contest? Have you ever heard about that?
It's a similar concept, yeah.
Yeah.
No, haven't heard that.
Where you just give, I think 10 movies or so get the points from you, and the other ones don't get any points. And then, the movie with the most points gets the first prize, and then second most, third most. And it's also usually like that these ratings also determine whether the film is showed at the festival or not, because usually the festival only lasts about 3 hours, so they can't show every film, and that's why they pick the 12 movies with the most points, and then they get showed in full length.
Okay.
And the other ones are just short snippets of the movies.
So that just makes it even more of an honor just to have your film being shown there. Even if it doesn't win anything, it's an honor just to be there.
Yeah, especially when you see it on a big screen, it's always exciting, I think. And yeah, moving on, the last is of course the audience choice, which is just voted by the audience. Usually everyone gets like a paper, and then they have all the movies on it, and they can just cross or just tick their favorite movie, or also give points. I think we did it with points when we organized it. And then like also the best three get a prize.
Excellent. And I'm not sure if they're still doing it, but you actually get a literal like red brick with a little tag on it.
They are still
as
doing
the trophy.
that, yeah.
They're still doing that. It's the brick of honor, we call it.
I like that.
It's the
I
first
love the
place,
trophy.
and it has a sign on it, and it's a great honor to have these at home.
So could I guess you guys have around 10 of those?
Oh, even
maybe
more, I think.
Maybe more.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if anyone. I'd have to do a lot more research to figure out if anybody has more of these bricks than you guys, because you've
That's a lot of
taken
bricks.
a lot of bricks home.
Yeah, definitely. We can almost build a second home.
It's very funny. It's very funny every year when we're at the airport and we have to explain why there's a huge brick in our luggage.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a good thing to work towards. Actually getting enough to actually make a house of it. Your award house.
Real life Lego.
Exactly.
That's so cool. So for Time for Sale, you won the audience award, and it looks like second place for the jury award.
Yeah, we almost did the hat trick.
Oh, well, maybe not.
Right.
Yeah. And it was, I think BIM was doing some of their awards that year, so you won 2 BIM awards that year for that. And I think the 6 main category nominations, I believe, at the BFG Film Festival. So very, very successful brick film you made there. Some of the things we noted in there that were really awesome. I loved the fixing the tie in the elevator. The bell in the shop that would ding when anybody would enter the door.
Yeah, I love that.
I love that.
Thank you.
Did a lot of great post effects with lighting. The clock is kind of a simple one, but I love seeing going back and someone actually making the Lego clock move is awesome.
Yes, we notice all of your details, so we.
Yeah, I see.
It's really amazing to hear. I'm really surprised that you noticed everything.
We tried
put
to.
in there.
I wrote something about a coffee mug transition. You remember what that was?
Yeah, when he put down his mug on the table.
And then
it kept going to different people.
Yeah,
exactly.
It went to a different shot. It was the same. It was a mug, so I think it faded from one mug to the other, but they were overlaid on top of each other.
It was the same mug, but a different scenery.
Yeah.
These are the kind of animations or transitions we just spontaneously implement in our films. It's not planned. We just have the idea, working on it.
Yeah, I like when the end of one scene ties into the next. There's some shows here in America that will do that. One, something called Jane the Virgin. It's a show here. I don't know if it's over there. It's a really good show. It's all over the map.
From Netflix.
But there's a lot of those type of transitions in it. They even do it with the way it's written, where it's the last word of one thing will be the first word of the next scene, and it's really a neat effect.
It's so cool. Smooth
to watch. Yeah,
you can get very creative with that. Yeah, just with transitions.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's all that keeps coming to mind when I watching your videos. Just wow, creative storytelling, attention to detail. I mean, it's amazing. So there's so many reasons to watch your videos. They're all so enjoyable.
That's really kind of.
We're honored.
Yeah.
Another shot I liked is when they open up the box and you see the ceiling behind them.
Yeah.
Was, I think, also green screen.
Yeah, that was green screen.
Oh, that was green
sure.
screened in? Okay. And something I know, I guess, Alexander, do you have a SoundCloud account? Did you do the music, or did you have some original music for this film?
Yeah, that's true. It was actually, more or less original. It was just with the Magic's Music Maker. We used that to make the glasses wrap as well. So I don't know if you know the software. It's just where you can put a lot of looped sounds in, and then you just drag them in and experiment a bit with different instruments and different sounds which might work together. And I did just that. So I didn't play any actual instruments for that, but I more or less composed it with different tracks that I put on top of each other.
Well, that's awesome.
So
excellent.
because we couldn't find the fitting music for the store, so we made our own.
Just because we're on and because making your own music, and I don't know which video this is because we watched so many, I forget which one is which. But there was the piano. I think it was a Glasses one where the piano scene. It sounds like they were playing Heart and Soul. I was like, I bet one of you guys is playing Heart and Soul on the piano.
We also have to express our gratitude to one of our dear friends from Germany for the Glasses movie and some other work we did. He composed the whole music and he played the whole instruments himself.
He actually did
Moritz
it,
Meyer, it's his name, and he's a great musician, and he made the music for us, so...
That's awesome.
Nice,
Glasses 10, and I think it was a trailer of our own Steinerei in 2015.
Yeah, and I think also the Nighttime's intro.
Yeah, the Nighttime's intro was also by him.
And for one movie I did, because I did a movie for our school, and he made the whole music for that, so
awesome.
It's always like our go-to composer when we need something special.
Yeah, no, I recognize the Heart and Soul because I played that on the piano as well. So like, oh, somebody's playing that. So yeah, I noticed that right away. It was awesome.
And so I think this one's only on the Lego Studio 01 channel. Lego The Hobbit, the Battle of the Five Armies, a teaser trailer. I believe it was a team up with Rainlight.
Exactly,
oh my gosh, that was beautiful.
Oh, thank you. I think that's also mostly because of Dominic, because he did most of the post-production stuff. It was at that time that Dominic, he was in Carinthia, so around
he
the
was
region.
Visiting us.
He was visiting.
He was making a vacation at our place.
Very cool.
And I think the year before, he teamed up with Andreas to make a movie. And now, like, we wanted to team up. I think Andreas was on vacation or something. Mm-hmm. And then we wanted to make something. And at the time, we were very, like, looking forward to the Hobbit movie. And the trailer just came out. And then we just decided to remake that with Lego.
Awesome. I think it even got
Brotherhood
Workshop's attention.
True.
He's like, hey,
there's a comment underneath.
Made a comment.
The
That's pretty sweet. Nicely done. If he comments on something, you've done
know
right.
It's good, right?
yeah, we were definitely honored by that. Yeah, and it's like I think also my most watched video, but yeah, I think just with these trailers, they kind of get very popular.
They do. Yeah, you
sometimes.
Release them on time, and especially when they're brilliantly done like that. Yeah, it's gold. Except that you can't get paid for that, can you? Because you're using the soundtrack.
Exactly. Yeah, they quickly demonetized that.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
But before that, I've made 2 Sherlock trailers, and there I actually went away and recorded all the voices and made music. Not myself, but like I didn't use the original tracks, just because I wanted it to stay monetized. But for the Hobbit trailer, I didn't do that.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to go with what you know is gonna sound best, and make your video just look good. It's about you want to have it, you want to be proud of it, and sometimes that just means giving up the money and just have it, going full blown.
Yeah,
whether it's Star Wars.
It's not about the money, of course.
Right.
So
well, it helps though.
Zach and Nathan put a Pink Floyd song in their last their one video, and even though they could have gotten paid for it, it made the video better putting that music in there. So sometimes you just have to take.
You got to choose creativity over money.
Yeah, true.
That's the way to go, I think.
Mm-hmm. So you guys are both members of Bricks in Motion, and I believe you've each done one THAC entry altogether. One was THAC 11.
Also quite a time ago.
Yeah, THAC 11 and 12, and I'm not sure when those were. How was that experience putting out a video in 24 hours? Between the THAC 11 was the Does. That was the A&M Studios, and New Love for THAC 12, Lego Studio 1.
Was that?
Yeah, I think it's kind of great to have this pressure on you to rush these movies to get them out.
Mm-hmm.
I was really exhausted and tired the morning after, but I'd do it again if I have the time, I'd say. What about you, Alexander?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of... Sometimes I really need the pressure to work good. I mean, I'm not saying that it's like a very good movie or anything, but I remember just working the whole night on this, and I thought, yeah, I have something that is at least finished. So I was so happy that I did that, and also felt very tired, of course, the next day. Mm-hmm. But I really like it. Sometimes I work best with this pressure on me, so it kind of worked out.
Do you guys think you might ever want to team up and just do one as a team?
Maybe.
It's quite possible, I
give
think.
You an advantage, yeah, because it seems like that's what's been winning it lately is these team efforts.
True, yeah, you see that very often now.
You can spare a lot of time, I think, if you're
right.
multiple people.
Yeah, especially maybe then even one of them gets to sleep while the other works, and then the other way around. So then you won't even be missing out on that.
I know when Dave has done it in the past, he just gets up, starts like right away, and then just probably does it till after dinner. Doesn't stay up overnight.
I only use maybe 14, 15 hours tops. I'm not going to put 24 into it. I'm too old. How much of the 24 hours did you guys use?
Did you use the full 24 hours?
I don't think so.
I think we started in the afternoon.
Yeah.
I started in the afternoon, and I did the whole night until 8 or 9 in the morning.
Wow.
It's about 18, 19 hours.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's kind of the same for me. I think I saw the entry, and it was already like afternoon, and then I started. I just thought it would be funny to take part in that, but...
Well,
cool.
Yeah, they were great. They were great entries.
Great entries. I believe there's a commission project in 2015. I think you both worked on. It was a Bricks and Company or Bricks and Co.
Yeah, that's exactly. That's a Lego store near our home place. It's not an official Lego store. It's an own place, an own selling Lego store.
Or at least
a reseller, a professional reseller. Yeah.
And is this a commission project you got paid for?
Yeah, we got paid in Legos.
In Legos,
that's just as good, if not better.
That's probably the best way. Yeah.
Right.
No, it was he wanted to make something or to get something to play on the screens because it was in a mall, his shop, and he wanted to play it across the mall and also in his what's it called? Like in his shop, he just had a screen, and there he wanted to play something. That's why also in the movie there are a lot of like different Lego themes that we tried to combine.
Yeah, it was really great.
Everybody has something.
Yeah, we noticed that.
I really liked that one. That was cool.
Try out many different areas from Lego and many sets.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Cool.
Did he contact you for that?
I think we met each other when he planned to open the store, and he was like, "I need something to show them," and we offered him to do that.
Excellent.
And my memories.
Well, which are better than ours, I'm sure.
Cool. I'll move on to another commission project. And it's in German. Rico, Oscar und das Hesgenberg.
Rico, Oscar und das Herzgebreche, as far as I remember. It was actually a commission project. I did it on my own. It was for a movie that was coming out. It was a German movie, and some advertising agency, they contacted me because they had seen the Hobbit trailer, and they wanted something similar because they thought Lego, it appeals to young audiences, and it was a movie for young audiences. So yeah, we remade their trailer. But I think I still remember it was like they contacted me 1 month before, and then I said, yeah, we need this in 1 month. It needs to be finished because otherwise the movie is already out and then nobody's gonna watch it. And I think at the time I was finishing school, or at least I had a lot to do. So I already put some all-nighters on that to finish that. It was also kind of hard because a lot of the trailer, of course, it was a teaser, and they had a lot of different cuts. So I think some of the scenes were just 1 second long, but you still had to build a set and animate everything in 1 second. So I think it has about maybe 50 to 70 cuts in just a 1 minute video.
Wow. Yeah, building the sets is so time consuming. So that's a lot.
And then also the mouth animation, everything. But I finished
camera movement.
Yeah, true.
Well, kudos on that because that was well done. So I'm glad you got paid for it.
Yeah, me too.
One thing I'd like to mention, because we're currently talking about commission that doesn't show up anywhere. We're also very honored and proud to we provided the whole background animations for the Honest trailer of the Lego movie.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
do you know the channel with the honest trailers?
You know, I've got a note because I was doing some Google searches, and I'm trying to listen where it is in my notes. I think a Lego Studio One kept popping in there as. So it was, yeah, let's see where it was. Honest Trailers, here we go.
Yeah, it was honest trailers because they were searching some animators that could animate some scenes for them very quickly in, I think, 1 day or something. They were looking for some animators over Twitter, and we contacted them, and we were very proud that our animations are in this honest
animations.
Yeah, it's very short.
No, but I think only 2 scenes were actually animated. I think the rest of them were actually just filmed. Because they wanted, I think there's a music video from the Lego movie where they also made something similar. They put Lego
collaboration.
figures.
It's a collaboration with Epic Rap Battles of History, I think.
Yeah, true. And they wanted it to look like the Lego music video, so we did something similar where we took some pencils and we put Lego figures on them and just moved them across the screen. So
okay,
not much animation, but
I remember those shots in there. Okay.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah, just when I was doing a Google search, that just kept popping in there, and I just couldn't figure out what it was. So thank you for filling that in. Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, definitely. You guys can, anything you want to plug or add in that we forget, please. We're happy to hear it.
Okay.
That was awesome, by the way.
You're
very
well
really
informed about everything. So
well,
I did
not
great research.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'll give Dave the credit on that. He does all of that.
Yeah, we watched a lot yesterday.
No, I watch the videos, but I don't do the research. So
I would be lost without my research.
and without me too.
Without you, I couldn't do this without you. It's like I might animate and do all this stuff, but I can't do a podcast without my loving wife.
Aww.
All right. There's this. I guess it's more of a test thing on Lego Studio 01. It's like a 60 frame per second sort of something called wish list.
Oh, true. Yeah.
What's the story on that project? Were you animating at 60 frames per second, or doing some After Effects in that, or tell me about it?
No, usually no. It was no After Effects. I've done one animation before that, but I didn't publish it, where I really tried to make 60 frames a second animation. And then I said, yeah, okay, I don't want to just upload the test. So this wishlist movie, it's a whole movie, or like a short sketch at least, with actually 60 frames per second. I mean, there wasn't that much animation in this because it's just barely 1 minute, but I really tried something new because at the time I think YouTube brought this new feature that you can release 60 FPS movies. So I thought, why not try it for a small Christmas movie?
Okay.
And I actually had Goalie Go, so Steffen Tröger, he did the synchronization on the voiceover.
Okay. And I mean, I imagine the movement between frames was just almost barely existent.
It was so small. I've never animated an animation that was this like little in between. Sometimes I wouldn't even notice that I had moved something until later when I finished the scene. So
I also have to mention that you did not use Dragon Frame at this time.
Wow.
True, that was also kind of hard. So I only saw what was like the live view, not the frames before that. But I just wanted to give it a try.
Have you ever animated 30 frames per second?
I don't think so.
Not at all, I think. We're just usually going by 15, and it's good for us.
Yes, sometimes I think I've only done a test with 24 frames per second, but usually we settle on 15.
I like 15. 24, it looks really smooth, but I feel like the animations look kind of sped up.
Yeah, sometimes it's not kind of worth to make 24, and with 15 you have this great timeline where you can extend the frame to 2 frames, one picture to 2 frames, and it makes up the double. So you have 15 frames per second and 30 frames per second in your movie, so you can.
True, yeah.
I had a couple of shots in one of my projects I worked on that, because the shot was only a second, I went ahead and did it at 30 frames, and they came out pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it can definitely look cool, but then you also have to try to match it to this 24 or 30 frames per second. Otherwise, it will look sped up.
Yeah.
As you said.
Yeah. We'll move into 2016. Another Steinerei. 2016, another co-production. Actually, I don't want to go there. I want to go to 2015 when you guys hosted the festival. down in Austria,
we
the only
hosted back
time
then
down there.
when we were still very young. I think I was 17 at the time. Alexander, you were already 17?
No, probably also 17, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
No, or 16, I think, yeah.
It was a kind of big experience, a big experiment for us, because we live rather far away from the rest of the German brick filmers, and it was we were not quite sure if some people were attending the festival, if we make it all the way on the south side of Austria. And we were actually quite surprised. Nearly everyone came to our festival. All the people traveled down to us.
Wow.
Yeah, I think we even did a survey asking if anybody would show up to our festival. Otherwise, we wouldn't do it.
Yeah. And that's in
I
Klagenfurt?
Klagenfurt is the name, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Is that on like a big lake?
Yeah, it's a very famous lake for making vacation and so on.
It looks beautiful. It looks beautiful. I looked at some pictures on Google of the area, and it's like, wow, this is a beautiful part of Austria.
Yeah, it's a nice place, but it's also there's not many inhabitants, so we're a rather small region.
Yeah, I've been to Austria once. I went to, I think, Innsbruck and Vienna, and it's
actually
one of my favorite
Nice.
countries in Europe to go to. Vienna was just immaculately beautiful and clean.
Yeah, Vienna is an amazing
It is.
city.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It always gets awarded every year for the city with the best living conditions in the whole world. So we're kind of proud of that.
I can confirm that now.
Yeah. But you hosted that there, and let's see, the theme was light and shadow, and you created a trailer for it, which I really loved, and I think you briefly mentioned it a minute ago, where you did these basically shadow puppets on the wall. So you did animations with shadows, which I really haven't done much of, and I want to get into more. I thought that was really a cool effect there.
Thank you.
Some of the notable winners that year, and I'm gonna butcher these names. So it was Dirk Bosche. Dirk.
I think it's Böttcher.
Böttcher, yeah.
Stefan Müller.
Stefan, yeah.
Yeah.
Stefan Truger. And
Tröger, yeah. Yeah, Tröger.
Hendrik Dinkhaus.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
that was really. Then all of them showed up.
I think except for Dirk Böttcher, nearly everyone showed up.
Okay, and excellent. Is that Brick 72, or am I mixing him up?
No, that's not.
No,
Brick
okay.
72 is no.
Different person. Okay.
He's called Mario Baumgartner, but he's very inactive in
Okay.
the past few years. So
Okay.
Sadly.
So did you enjoy that experience of hosting it?
Yeah, so it was a really amazing experience, I think, and we were really excited since we had to what's it called in English, moderieren.
I think it's moderate,
Host,
probably.
yeah,
I don't know.
moderate, I don't know. Host it, yeah. So we were like the interviewers and the hosts of the show, and we were rather unexperienced with this kind of work, and it was our cinema, our theater, it was completely full. We even had people standing because there were too many people attending it.
Wow.
Like there were around 400 people in this room.
Yeah. It was already the biggest room, the biggest thing in the whole theater. Still.
Yeah.
And did you arrange all this yourselves between the two of you guys or four of you guys, or did you have some more older folks helping?
With the help of our parents, we managed to do everything.
Yeah.
We even went to the radio station to advertise it. And
True. We went all out. We put some posters in the whole city. Like, I think we had 100 posters that were everywhere in the city, and we also were on television the day before the festival. So we really tried to push it, and I think it paid out in the end.
It paid out, yeah. It was really amazing. At the cinema as well, they didn't really expect such amazing festival. They didn't expect that so many people were coming. They put one employee behind the counter to serve popcorn and so on. And there were 400 people visiting, and the employee was pretty exhausted after that.
But after that, they said we can do it anytime if we want. So
I bet, yeah.
Well, that's on one of my bucket list items, is to host a festival one day. We'll see.
Yeah, it's an amazing experience.
I'd just be happy attending. I don't know if I want to.
Well, we went up to Raleigh, North Carolina. Or was it Raleigh? No, not Raleigh, but
Durham,
Durham, North Carolina, for what was that called?
Brick Flicks.
Brick Flicks. I think.
Yeah,
really?
I've heard about that one.
Yeah, we met David Pagano up there. And,
great.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to meet him someday.
I think we would both love to meet him someday.
Yeah,
he's also one of the greatest brick filmers we know.
Yeah, he's definitely worth meeting. He's just as nice in person as he is, on screen. He's amazing.
Yeah.
In addition to being madly talented, so.
Yeah, he's really great.
So would you guys host another one if they wanted you to? Would you do it again?
Oh, it's a lot harder since we are living across Austria. I'm in Salzburg and he's in Vienna, so it's not that easy to arrange such things. We're not even quite sure in which city we should host.
Exactly. Yeah.
Steinerei. So I think it would be doable, but we would prefer not to for a while.
At least, in the next few years. I mean, if it's really coming to, like, it would come to an end, then we would maybe do another festival. But
we would not let it die, so
exactly.
If there's no one else making it, we would
not on our watch.
Oh, that's awesome! That's so sweet.
But I think they found someone for the next Steinerei, so next year. So it's all good for this year at least.
Good for 2020.
And make sure they have more than one popcorn person.
We have to tell them this recommendation for sure.
So okay, we'll move into 2016's Steinerei.
Oh, nice.
Steinerei.
Yeah.
Steinerei. And this one, I believe, Stefan hosted because it was in Stuttgart. Yeah. And you won the audience prize and the second place for the Brick Filmer prize. Mm-hmm. You got 4 BFG nominations that year also, and you won Best Non-English that year for us. You were also screened at Cinebrick down in Portugal.
Yeah, true.
And here's you got first place at the Landesmeister.
Okay, yes. It's again the
Landesmeisterschaft.
The Landesmeisterschaft of the region.
Yes,
so,
that.
So it's a very well awarded film. I loved the fireplace effect in that, and the heads on the wall.
Oh gosh, that was that one. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the heads on the wall. That was brilliant. Because I haven't seen that before. Because it's like watching a real movie. You see these things in real movies, and you're like, oh, you know exactly what it was. And you're I don't know if this one had that one too, where it had like the pictures on the wall. Everything was just so realistic and non-Lego looking, you know?
I think this was one of the first movies where we had this clear imagination how the scenery should look like, and we went online and shopped and spent many euros to get the bricks we needed for this explicit setting.
True,
Yeah.
And I think I even remember the jury saying that it looked so realistic they even forgot that it was a Lego movie. I think it was the first time that we heard that. So
yeah, no, that's exactly what goes through my head watching your videos. But that especially the animal heads on the wall and just your pictures in general. I say today, it's like, how do they do that? He's like, I was like, but it looks like there's a frame around it. I mean, it just looks so real.
I mean, we cheated with the frames because we just used some clay to stick it to the wall. But other than that, it's all built. And I think we built some holes in the wall to stick the animals through it.
I think it's also became kind of our style to try to make things as realistic as possible throughout the years. This was one of our first movies where we really got to that point with the lighting and the scenery and so on.
I mean, we even purchased like a bulb that could change the colors. Oh. So that we didn't have to use just LEDs or something. We actually had a bulb, and for this, like in the first scene, it's set to orange, and then in the jungle, it's set to green, and then in nighttime, it was set to blue. So we really wanted to experiment a bit with the lights on that.
Yeah, it was beautiful. I mean, just so amazing. I just love it that you guys do that. It stands out in every single one of your videos.
Thank you very much. So much.
Some of the standout shots, I love when the car or Jeep, whatever, skids a little bit, and you put brown tiles down where the skid mark was. It's one of the effects I love seeing. You did a lot of out of arm socket animation in that, which you've been doing, but you did a lot in there, and it's like I find it painful to do that, but it looks so great when you do it right.
Yeah, we get criticized quite a lot for doing that because many of the brick film professionals don't like doing that. So
just say we're butchering.
But it's kind of our style.
I like
Yeah.
seeing it as long as you don't see the clay holding the arm on much.
True, but unfortunately you see it
A
sometimes.
little. It's hard to get it all out. Yeah.
That's true, yeah, but
But
I
it
still
doesn't
don't
matter.
want to give up on that because it gives so much more mobility and so much more you can do with the minifigures.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes they just gotta move.
Yeah, don't let
the
anybody
other
tell you
direction.
not to do what you don't change something for anyone else, because what you guys are doing is perfect, and don't let anybody, steer you away from your own creativity.
That's very nice.
Another shot that I loved in that is, I believe, looking up through the trees, seeing the moon in the background. I guess that was a green
thank
screen
you very
shot,
much.
but I really like that shot. It just those little shots. It only go like 1 or 2 seconds, but it really just sets up the scene, and I really dig that.
And the credits, the way you guys do credits is so, again, creative and different, and we really enjoy watching the credits. You don't usually...
because we notice not everyone is paying attention to the credits, of course, like nearly no one does, but we kind of wanted to make the credits more amazing or more funny to watch, and
That
some
they
Easter eggs
stick
in there.
around. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great point, because you're right. Nobody wants to just see words flashing by, which is pretty much what most people, including us, do. So the way you've done it, you make it a part of the video, and it's fun to watch.
Thank you very much.
And those credits, when you're kind of zooming into different parts of, say, of a wall or something, is that in After Effects, or how are you?
That was done in After Effects.
After Effects, okay.
So we make this one big 4K image and we zoom around.
Zoom around it. Okay, excellent. Let's see. Looks like move on a little. There was a school commercial for BG/BRG.
Lerchenfeld.
Yes.
Thank you. This, I believe, was just Alexander, correct?
Yeah, that's true, because it was actually, or mostly then also done with my brother, because it was the school that we attended.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of, at that time, because also with the movie Endangered, we got featured in the local newspaper. And then the school also heard about that, and also with the Steinerei that we organized, our school got to know of that. And then they said, hey, maybe you can make us a commercial, like an image video. And I said, yeah, sure, why not? And they even provided me with a camera for the time.
Wow.
Which I even got to keep after that. And they even bought some Lego for me. And I wanted like to show what the school has to offer, the different topics that you can learn there, the different directions that you can go. Like it's also a very sports-based gymnasium, if that's the word.
Yeah.
So they also wanted to show that, and that's why we've got these 3 characters, which each represent like their own branch in the school. So
It's comparable to the high school, I think, in the USA, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
And
That's awesome.
So you got one scientist, you got one sportsman, and you got one nerdy guy who's good with languages. And that's also, I think these were at the time already the mascots of our school. And then we just made Lego versions of that. And yeah, it was also the first time that they acted in a real life environment, because they wanted to show the school how the school looks like, and not just some rebuilds with Lego. So it was at the time I worked together with another person from the University of Klagenfurt, so the town, and we were shooting all these real life things on it was like a real film production camera. It was really big and like with just huge to film this all. And then we had some days that we were filming that, and then I tried to match the Lego bricks, like the Lego animations, with these scenes and try to bring it all together.
Well, it was wonderful. I loved it.
Yeah, that must have been a lot of fun too.
Is that the one that had the classroom reciting or talking about Martin Luther King in it?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Where we wanted to show the languages. That was like very tricky, because for most of the time I couldn't figure out how to show language. And then we had like some girls were singing something in French, and this guy was talking about Martin Luther King, where he held his speech. Mm-hmm. And I think it worked pretty well. I mean, like the Lego figures, they're all done in front of a green screen to fit in there. And also like Moritz Meyer did the music on that. So it was all custom to fit every scene.
That's a neat experience, yeah.
It was definitely a lot of fun. I mean, it was like a commission which I didn't get paid for, but I still enjoyed it. And I mean, I think that it's still shown at school. like when they have a day where you can visit the school,
Oh,
then they
nice.
still show it on every screen. So
Well, you got the camera
that's-
and the Lego, so.
That's super awesome.
that's true. That's true, but I didn't get to keep the camera,
Oh,
unfortunately.
you didn't? Oh, okay.
Well, that's probably a $20,000 camera.
Right, true.
Yeah.
Expensive. You guys are a member of the German brick filming website called Brickboard, and they occasionally put on or host community projects. One of them was called 16 Cities, 17 Brick Filmers. And I'm not sure if, Andreas, you were a part of this one or not.
No, unfortunately, I did not take part in that one.
But Alexander, you took part in it, and it was a really neat video. I believe it was organized by Dirk Bocher.
Betcha, yeah, exactly.
But it was a really cool video. Can you tell us a little bit about what that project was?
Yeah, sure. It was a project where I think at the time Brickboard, or at least Dick Böttcher, he became an ambassador of Brickboard. So he had contact with the official Lego. I think they sometimes host these events or something where they send out random Lego sets to ambassadors. And since we just became part of that, they sent out a lot of these winter sets, these small winter sets with 2 minifigures and some snow. And then the challenge was to make a movie out of that. So you should mostly use these bricks from the set and then just try to put that into a scene. And then every brick filmer who took part, it all gets edited into one long video with the different scenes and the different videos. Nice. So the challenge was, I think, everyone got 2 or 3 of these sets, and then you had to build something out of them by mostly using these bricks.
Well, I loved yours. Yours had the snow globe, correct?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, that was really cool. Really cool. And then there's another community project that was hosted by, I believe, Oliver Berger, Ollie AG.
Yeah.
He's been a brick filmer for a long time, and I think in 2016 was his 10-year anniversary, so there was a community project where a bunch of folks, both of y'all, made a short portion of it, and they were I love the portions you guys put in there with the lighting and the rain and the letters, Lego letters and things like that. I thought it was a really cool project.
Thanks, yeah.
And Oliver, is he Austrian as well?
Yeah, he's from the very north of Austria, so he's one of the few remaining Austrian brick filmers.
Okay.
So have you met him in person?
Yeah, many times.
Oh, nice.
True, not only on the Steinerei, also he came to visit us in Carinthia some time ago, actually a lot of years ago, I think. And we still stay in contact via Facebook or something. So we know each other.
That was a neat tribute to him, and just a couple of things that we need to mention in each one of your videos, Andreas. The wallpaper inside the house.
Yeah.
That looked beautiful. I guess that maybe was from one of the what do you call it? Just from other set or something.
It's actually from the Batcave, from the new. It's a rather new Lego set they made, and we won it at the Steinerei shortly
to flex.
before. Yeah, to flex. We won this set, and I really love these bricks, and I wanted to make something up with them, and they're just in this whole set there are 20 of them, so I had to rather place them quite exactly to show them off.
Right, yeah, that's such a good idea. I love that. It really looked like wallpaper, and I haven't seen that before, so it's almost worth getting those sets just for that.
Yeah,
because
you're
looks
probably
so good.
better off just buying the bricks.
Yeah.
On Bricklink or something.
Or otherwise you have to buy
them,
multiple of these bed caves to get enough bricks to
no,
build up a whole scenery.
If you could get those individually, I mean, that is just such a great idea to do it inside, because I love the way that looked.
I think we also used them in our last one, in Highway to Heaven, behind the door. Just
in one scene, I
10
think,
or 20 bricks, yeah.
And then Alexander, and yours, the minifigure pose in the window where he's looking out, and he's just, because it's raining. That pose in the window is just, you can see the emotion just by that one thing. You can feel it.
I spent a lot of time on posing that minifigure because I really wanted it to look like, I also popped out the arm, so I didn't want to, I tried to hide the clay, and then I really tried to pose him to convey even more emotion, yeah.
Yeah, well, that definitely stood out.
But it was also a movie where that was the time where I didn't have my camera, so I had to go back to the webcam.
Wow.
And after that, I was like, I'm never doing this again. I mean, it was nice. I could place the webcam on the set and even make the zoom. It was in camera, so I just moved the camera.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, after all, I'm better off using my other camera, because with the webcam, I'm just so used to the better quality now.
Well, it was still a beautiful scene with the rain and, of course, the blinking eyes. It was just, I loved it.
The sunrise was cool, too. Behind the words.
Yeah, thanks.
Excellent.
Yeah, I love it when you can feel the emotion. Just when you can feel that much emotion just by watching a one particular scene. It's very cool. Very impressive.
Thanks.
So
I'm very impressed how many brick filmers can manage that, because most of the people are not aware that this film is completely silent and it starts from scratch. So you can create amazing things with brick films, and it's really amazing.
It is.
Oh yeah.
So you have another commission video, I believe. It's Ben Blunsker Riptide?
Bloodsucker. You can just spell it out like Bloodsucker.
Bloodsucker. Oh, okay. Okay, and this is like a metal band, but
from Germany.
Uh-huh. And I'm assuming this was a commission video?
Yeah, it was
Yay.
as well. I already did one for him earlier, I think in 2012 or 13, also with the webcam, so the quality is quite, it's worse, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this was last year, and I also got the commission from him to do another video, because he was, his Lego minifigure, his version of him is his brand. He's a Lego metal musician, basically. And I got the honor to create a new music video for him.
Excellent,
Wonderful.
Excellent. Was there, assuming, a lot of After Effects work in that?
Yeah.
Yeah. When you painted, I guess, when you created the green screen around the pirate ship, did you do something to enhance it to make it look more green? Or
Not at all. I also uploaded a VFX breakdown video, and there you can see that the background is not even that green. I had to do most of the work in Photoshop afterwards, because the ship was just too large, and I don't have these kind of big screens. I only have small green screen pieces, and I had to Photoshop and to mask it out from the final image.
But I guess enhancing that green made it a lot easier to
it was for sure.
Cool.
And it was to this day, I think, the video with the most composing I ever did, or we ever did, because it's just 80% in After Effects. Kind of.
And the water in the Lego clouds, that's Blender?
Yeah, that's Blender. It's like I mentioned earlier, a friend of mine and I tried out Blender, and it was our first time using it, and it looks okay. It's not perfect, but it's fine for the video, I think.
Yeah,
Definitely.
So this was your blendering this time. So that's awesome.
It was our own project.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I've been playing around.
At this point.
I've been playing around with Blender a whole bunch lately, especially after the podcast before this last one with Christopher Gearhart. He had some Blender plugins that are really cool. Bricker, and then one for the ABS plastic, and then one for creating animation.
Plugins are great.
Great plugins.
But I heard from many people that Cinema 4D, I don't know if you're familiar with this software.
Mm-hmm.
Cinema 4D is a lot easier to start with. It's more self-explanatory.
You have to buy it, right?
Yeah, there's a student version. I think it's for free. But yeah, it's a lot easier to get started with as Blender, because Blender has so many features that are ready to be explored. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it can be kind of confusing, but the big advantage of Blender is, of course, the plugins.
Yeah. I think Cinema 4D, isn't that what Gareth uses? I could be wrong about that.
Not sure.
I think he uses that. And just today he posted a picture from a new video he's making, evidently, and oh my gosh, it looks gorgeous. It's another Clone Wars type video.
Yeah.
So you got to look up Gareth's picture when you get off the call.
Yeah, that's what he's famous for. Yeah, we also watch his videos.
Yeah. His CGI is just
beautiful,
gorgeous,
yeah.
and
but it was gorgeous already many years ago. So.
Oh yeah. He's had those skills for quite a while.
Plus, he's an old friend of ours anyway, and of course, voices in our Galactic Smugglers.
Oh yeah.
So yes, very
no,
grateful
we definitely should invest more time into Blender. I mean, or at least any 3D program. I think you can just really enhance the set. I mean, this way you didn't have to build like all the ocean or the clouds. You can just do it in Blender. And
I mean, it's kind of our style as well, that we are just building nearly everything you see. Like many people love to put some digital things in the background, but nearly 90% of our film is really built in set, not made digitally. Yeah. Like we have these 1 or 2 shots per film where we use After Effects to compose something, but most of the time we love to build everything ourselves.
So it's not just because we don't know how to use Blender, it's also an artistic choice.
And personally, hopefully
let's just say that one.
I actually prefer that personally. You know, everybody has their preferences, and CGI is great, but I'm the old school, and I really like just using the real Lego.
In camera.
Yeah.
And if you have enough Lego bricks, that's definitely doable, yeah.
Right.
It is great for set extension, kind of if you can get it off in the background and not have to build everything.
Yeah, that's true.
Cool. So we'll move into 2017 with Roll. This is a Stone Age brick film.
Which was fun. Actually, before we watched the video, we watched the behind the voicing, because that was a lot of fun to watch you guys. It looked like so much fun. Where did you record those voices? Whose place was that?
That's actually my living room at my place.
Okay.
A&M Studios.
Yeah, it was just after we finished the whole animation. We had some more spare time, and we decided to record the voices, because this time was it the first time that we spoke in one of our Steinerei movies? I think so.
Yeah, but it's also the first time we did not need any language to tell the story. Because as you notice in Roll, maybe there's this year we didn't have that much time to make a movie. It's rather short compared to our other Steinerei entries, and so we didn't have time to search for voiceovers and so on. So we did it by ourselves, and we got kind of cocky there.
Yeah, we didn't even have to make any mouth animations.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was a lot of fun, very funny, and it was fun to see the behind the scenes, because it's just cool how you can see how close you are and how much fun you have, and that comes through in your videos. So
I wish we would do these more often, like behind the scenes or something, but we are always so lazy with that.
Yeah, we're so focused on animating. I don't think there's much time for that.
Yeah, especially if we are like already got some pressure to finish the movie. Yeah, we forget about that. Sometimes we like put on a time lapse of us animating, but we never upload this. So yeah, it's not interesting enough, I think.
So we noticed the foosball table. Who's the champ?
Andreas, I think.
Yeah, that's mine.
It's a fun game.
And speaking of, because you can always achieve, great things without actually, using language or speaking, I'm going to bring up Maxime Marion, who we also had on our podcast, and another brilliant French animator he is. Yeah. But he did that sheep, which pretty much took over one of our festivals. And there's no talking, but yet there's so much emotion. So I just love videos that you guys have done and that he's done. It's brilliant.
I also loved in his sheep video, like the different perspectives. Like sometimes he uses big bricks and then smaller ones, and it changes up. So there's another thing to learn for our movies, I think.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, about not only the podcast, hearing how people do things, but seeing everybody's different styles. You learn different things, and it's always fun to watch and learn.
But you had success with this with Roll. I believe it won first place for the Brick Filmer Prize and third place for Audience Prize.
Yeah, it was very surprising for us. We
didn't
were not aiming for any title in this year because we didn't have that much time, and we were really amazed and
we were just happy that we finished the movie and that the Steinerei had one more movie to show. But then we were there, or at least I think this was the year.
Since we hosted it in 2015, we know the pain if no one is submitting any movies. So we try to submit it just for the sake of the community.
It's a great community. Well. I envy your tight-knit community between the three nations that speak German. So I envy you. It's great.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. Another thing that I noticed in the film, and we kind of spoke about it before, it's the overlay of the title in the beginning, first shot, and when you did the rack focus from the foreground to the background, the actual title went out of focus. I really like that. And
Thank you.
and you also did some. The credits at the end were done with that After Effects type zooming around the different parts of the screen, and I really like that.
Yeah, true.
We kind of put in a lot of Easter eggs in the ending.
Yeah, you guys really make credits fun, and that I don't know that I've seen anyone else do that, so I really appreciate that.
Well, thank you.
Cool.
We do Christmas because you guys have done a lot of Christmas videos. I love Christmas, so anytime I can see Christmas videos, that's fun for me.
I'm not quite sure why, but the Christmas videos I put on my channel always get so many views. Like, I kind of hit the YouTube algorithm exactly on the spot I need to, I think. Because every time I upload it, it's way more than 100,000 views.
Oh, wow.
And you did the Star Wars Christmas one, right? Or the Star Wars winter one?
Yeah, I did a Star Wars holiday vacation one in the summer, but in winter, I can't remember now.
Oh, that was the summer. Okay, that was it. But I don't know. One of those has like 800,000 views or so.
Yeah, it exploded. I don't know why. Maybe because of the title or something.
I think everybody enjoys the holiday spirit, but
Star Wars.
Yeah.
And also Star Wars, yeah.
Right, yeah, that too. But I want to mention in the Merry Giftmas Christmas 2017, one of my favorite effects was the two kids looking through the window, and it's cold outside, and their breath on the window. That was brilliant.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it was just a small detail, but...
No, that was huge.
Nice.
I noticed. I was like, oh my god. I mean, it makes it so real. It's amazing. I loved it so much. And then, of course, it was just fun and cheeky because I'm cheeky and sarcastic, so I thought that was... Yeah. It was just a fun video all the way around.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, it was also more or less a thack, or... Do I say it right? Like a 24-hour animation at least.
Oh.
Because it was already Christmas, and I thought, this year I want to put out another video. And I thought, Christmas I already have like at least the setting of the film, so it has to do something with Christmas. And then I thought, okay, I'm gonna make a movie for Christmas. And then I started and I finished it in probably 16 hours or something, stayed up the whole night just to put out another Christmas video.
Wow, well, it was worth it. I appreciated it. It was great.
Cool.
So again, sometimes I need the pressure.
Yeah, pressure can be a good motivator.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on to what I will have to say, at least for myself, is my favorite one, brick film you guys made. It's Murder in the Arena.
Oh, thank you very much. Thanks.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's Cinebrick.
Got first place.
First place.
Yeah.
That's impressive. That's a hard one to win. BFG Film Festival, we got 7 nominations, and
it's so crazy. Yeah.
you won Best Screenplay, and what's odd, every single one of the judges none of them were German speaking. I think we might have had one French speaking judge, but everybody else was English speaking, and it still won Best Screenplay because it was just so well written.
It's an amazing honor.
Yeah, that one.
We were really excited that all the very famous and professional brick filmers we know and look up to are watching our movie, so we were pretty hyped at home.
Oh yeah.
And you
I think also David Pagano watched it and reviewed it. As well.
Yeah, no, it was amazing all the way around.
And I believe you won first place Brick Filmer Prize and second place Audience Prize. It's
Steinreit 2018.
Yeah.
And
also first prize Audience, I don't know.
Was it first place Audience?
Brick Filmer Prize and second place Audience.
I could have my notes wrong.
Okay.
You got the bricks at home.
No, it's true, yeah.
It should have gotten first place, and everything.
It was incredible. I got another note. It won the gold medal at FVK.
Yeah, it's from our film club we're a part of.
And then a festival at Corinthian Film Authors.
Yeah.
National Championship 2019.
Exactly. We also participated in that one.
And I think you mentioned Corinthian a few times in this podcast. What is Corinthian Film Authors or the organization?
So basically, Carinthia is the region we're living in. It's like Tyrol or Vienna, like the whole region. And there's a club in every bigger city where many hobby filmmakers are a part of, and there's always a competition every year of I don't know how to pronounce it in English, like non-profit.
Yeah.
A non-profit competition, and we're really love to take part in that one because we're just making real life films as well sometimes with our friends, and it's a great community in the whole region. And if you participated in the competition in the region and it gets an award, you can participate in the states competition. So it's like a roster going up.
Nice,
Oh,
nice. And have you participated as an organizer in any of these? I thought I saw a microphone in one of your hands, maybe in a picture. I could be wrong about that.
Yeah, that was probably at the Stannerei, I think.
Okay, all right. So,
but I think we only helped out because one time it was in the city where our film club is located, and I think we just helped out a little bit with that. But yeah, we didn't organize any of these festivals, but
okay.
I think we could. I'm not sure if we want to do that.
And is there like
I think it's in the hands of the film club we're part of. So.
And is there like a youth, like a 15 to 25 age group of that same?
Yeah, exactly. It's called the Youth Carinthia Cinematics, and that's the group we're part of.
Okay.
And it's for young filmmakers that can attend some workshops regarding light management or sound or editing. And we also like to produce some small short movies now and
together.
then.
Yeah. And also it's nice to get some feedback and just to meet each other. And yeah, it's like, I think in Carinthia it's the only one of these youth clubs because it's actually in another city, so not in our home city, but since it's the only one, we are part of that. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Like
I mean, we only did like, I think 2 or 3 real life movies with that, but I don't know. I like brick films more.
Yeah, but it's great to extend your horizon regarding film business.
Yeah, definitely. But with this that we're talking about, Murder in the Arena has so many of these elements that are so brilliant that we've been talking about through the podcast. The mustache move, which just blows me away just watching it every single time. The blinking, the mouth movement, the sweat drip from the face, even the smoking of the cigarette. I always love that effect. It looks really good.
Yeah.
One of the shots I loved is when he's walking into the circus. It's a turntable shot, and the whole set's moving. That was really cool.
Beautiful
we
lighting.
Really tried to experiment with some different interesting shots. Just what would look great. What also would capture like that this is a whole set that we built. That it's not just all CGI or something. We wanted to show how big the set is, and I think that was one way to...
One thing I'd like to mention regarding our Stannerei films is that we always approach it by the theme. So most of the time we say what year or what theme do we want a movie to play in. We're like, this year we want to have a circus movie, and then we continue by writing a story. We're just kind of trying to switch up places and make something new, so create a new world nearly every year. So this year we thought we never made a criminal film, a creepy one, a dark one, and we'd like the setting of a circus because it's not that easy to build and it will impress some people, we hoped.
Definitely.
And then we tried to write a story around this criminal murder in the circus.
Yeah, that was perfect because most people are creeped out by clowns anyway. So
yeah,
this is like perfect all the way around. And then, of course, you got to love the monkey in there because...
Anytime there's a monkey.
Of course, yeah.
So thank you for that. We appreciate it.
That was a cameo of one of your monkeys.
Yes, thank
you. The turntable, how big was that?
Not that big. I think it's about like 50 centimeters. I don't know.
About a half meter?
It was probably smaller than a set, I think. So it didn't fit the whole set on there, but it just worked out.
Just enough.
And then we had some, we taped some, what's it called, a ruler to it.
Some measure,
yeah. And then we just moved it like, 1 millimeter. But you probably don't know what that, just a fraction.
Yeah. We do inches and feet, but
yeah, of course.
But they sort of tried to teach us metric back in grade school, but that people in our country just didn't want to give up the silly way of doing measurement, and we kept our our feet and miles and pounds and stuff. So it is what it is. I wish I lived in Europe for that reason.
So I just figured it out. It is the plate is around 1.6 feet large.
Okay. Yeah, half a meter. So yeah. I'm about to upgrade my turntable to 4 feet, about a meter and a third.
Yeah.
So yeah, we.
Oh, that's quite a huge turntable.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, my animation table is a 4 foot by 8 foot table, so I'll be able to fit this on there, and if it's rounded, it'll make the corner, it'll be able to turn. So I just have to cut the corners off and put a hole in the middle, and attach it to my old turntable that was 2 foot by 4 foot. Nice.
Do you have a table where you can change the height of it as well?
Don't change the height. I have 2 heights. I have a 6. I'm speaking feet in here, but a 6 foot by 4 foot table that's about 3 foot tall, and then another one that's about 4 foot tall, which is a 4 by 8.
Okay.
And I animate on the taller table, so I animate standing up all the time.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
And I actually sometimes if I have a lot of lighting, I'll stand closer to the set and I'll take pictures. But usually I'll walk 4 or 5 feet away and hit the enter button on the Dragon Frame keypad just to make sure I'm not reflecting any light onto the set. You can get away with being closer if you're wearing darker clothes and your set's really lightly pretty bright, I think. But
we also had to learn these things the hard way.
Yeah, we'd have to go to Stefan's house if we wanted to get one of those tables that move up and down.
I actually have one, but it broke. So.
No, that's no good.
I mean, he basically has it's a whole Lego store. I love seeing his
studio is really amazing.
He's got a nice setup.
Well, we can move into your 2019 Steinerite entry, Highway to Heaven.
Love that.
Really good. And this one, they had a whole bunch of more, minor categories this year. I think Best Sound Design, Best Drama, Best Film at Competition. I guess that would have been the Brickformer Award.
It won, I think, the main prize, because this year it was the first time that they introduced, I think, 9 categories, and one of them was like the main prize of the festival, which was the audience choice, and all the other categories are, I think, voted by the jury, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Since the host can set the rules as he wants, it's a bit different this year, and I like the new system quite a lot. So
you have more winners, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It also
it also gives other people the chance to bring home a prize, to win a trophy, because I don't know. I think from my point of view, it gets kind of frustrating for you if you participate many years and you never win anything. And with this new system with many categories, you still have the possibility to win something in a new category, and it motivates
I like
people
it a lot. I think because also a lot of people, they've got really like a thing they're really good at, and then it's nice that there are more categories just to show this off and to also award them a prize.
Yeah,
because
in that category.
This year we had someone who made kind of a musical, so he won Best Music. And that's nice, because otherwise maybe he would have... Yeah, it's just nice to have a category that's just for your movie. Or another one, I think he won the Best Set Design or something. It's also nice, because he always has nice sets. I think it's Vetternwirtschaft. They always have nice sets, and it's nice that they also get a prize. So I really like the system this year. I hope they keep it.
Yeah, more people a chance to win something and be recognized for their hard work.
So one of the things that kind of is tricky for us when we're doing a podcast with international people that English isn't their main language is we'll use a phrase, a colloquialism that is it doesn't mean the same thing where when you translate it. Well, the theme this year was called Butter bei die Fisch, or Butter with the Fish. Which, no clue what that means. What is butter with the fish as a phrase mean?
It's basically a saying in the north of Germany. It's kind of a saying which means come to the point, just say how it really is. So,
like if you were to tell a story and you would just never come to the point, you would never finish, then the guy can say, "Jetzt mal Butter bei die Fische," come to the point. Tell me what are you trying to say?
Yeah. Just tell the story already.
I'm not sure about the origin exactly because we don't say it around here. But
it's just a thing of the northern Germans.
Yeah.
That's funny. No, I definitely get it though, and I love A Highway to Heaven so much. I don't want to give it away, but again, the story is. It is so brilliant. It just amazes me. You guys write so ahead of your years. It blows me away.
Thank you
so much.
Also had that really nice surprise ending, which I'm not going to give it away. It's so worth watching. Really loved the whole thing, along with all of the nice details, of course.
I mean, I don't want to give too much away as well, but in that year we also did something because, of course, the years before, everybody told us it looks like a real movie. I forget that it's Lego. This time, we kind of wanted to break the fourth wall a bit. I'm not going to spoil anything, but that's the thing that we tried to make in that movie.
Right,
so.
And you definitely did. And just two of my favorite shots, the record player shot. I love that. And then this one, of course, this was the one with the pictures on the walls that just blew me away. Really love that.
I liked where he's in the bus or the vehicle going down the road, and you're looking at it, and you see the mountains in the background. You don't have moving because they're way in the background, but the foreground is moving. I think there's even some brick filmers that'll have 3 layers of this where the middle ground's moving a little bit. But I like that effect where the background's not moving at the same speed. And it gives you that a bit of
I think if I remember correctly, it was not really intentional. We just forgot to move it.
Well, it worked.
Yeah.
Because, the background, those mountains in the background really don't move, or they barely move.
I think we wanted to move them barely, just like even a fraction of a millimeter, but then we forgot about it, and then they were still, but
it looked fine, so we kept it inside.
Yeah, it was in the week where we pulled like 13 hours shift, so a small mistake maybe.
No worries.
Yeah, but it worked though. That's funny.
The other effect that I really loved was just the man sitting in the on the bus, where it's just you're seeing a little animation with the light changing in the background and on his face, to give the illusion like different lights coming in. How did you achieve that?
We did that, like we had a light coming from the window of the other side, and then we just had some sticks, some Lego bricks that we put on top of each other, and we just moved them across.
Yeah, we had
the light
a rail
blocked. Yeah, exactly. And we moved these Lego bricks in different shapes and sizes. We moved it across the light, so we still had some light in the truck, and then we had the brighter lights behind it and moved these bricks like on the side.
A spotlight, a lamp placed on the side of the
that
table.
way there were some small shadows cast on the Lego figure.
Well, it was a beautiful effect. You tricked my eyes. It looked great.
Thank you.
Also,
we were not quite sure how to film the inside of a car because we didn't want to use that much green screen, and we tried to make another method of the illusion of moving. So we just went by the light and shadows.
Well, definitely great light and shadow work there. See that you had I guess a minifigure flossing or doing the dance.
Yeah, that's right. You gotta go with the time, I guess.
Yeah, gotta
I'm
love
really
that.
glad you noticed that because it's a detail we spent many hours.
Yeah, because that was an out-arm socket animation, which is always going to take you a lot more time to do. So kudos.
Yeah, so we did a test animation earlier with our main logo figure, Mr. Glasses, and it was kind of fun to watch. Us two grown-up people in the room trying to floss and figuring out how to animate the floss, and we're both flossing all the time.
I was actually just learning this dance just for this animation because I knew we wanted to put it in there somewhere. So I watched tutorials or something how to floss.
So do you have a behind the scenes on that one? Because that would be fun to watch.
Sadly no, but it would be too awkward to show publicly. I think.
Well, we always notice flossing because the backpack kid has actually been in our house, and I'm friends with his mom.
Wow, no joke.
No joke, yeah.
But he was like 3 or 4 when he came here.
Yeah, a celebrity living near you.
Yeah, he was
cool.
very.
It's amazing.
He was very young when he was here, but yeah, I'm still keep in touch with his mom and
cool people.
My oldest son and her oldest son, they used to play together when they were
Wow.
So,
Wow.
yeah.
Like, your honest opinion, is it good for him to have this much fame in this early age?
That's probably going to be different opinion. I will say,
No.
to me, no.
Yeah.
I don't think
I would guess
so.
so as well.
As a mom, I certainly wouldn't want that for my kids.
But he's having fun doing it, so.
As long as he can stay grounded and down to earth and be nice and respectful. That to me is the most important thing. If you're
that's
somebody
very
that,
important.
Yeah, definitely.
you know, fame can go to your head and you can become, you know...
He's got a good mom, so I think he should keep his feet on the ground.
Hopefully he'll, you know,
Hopefully, yeah.
stay nice and grounded.
All the best for him.
Definitely,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's not easy to cope with that attention in this age, I think. Or it's never easy to cope with this attention, this many attention.
Right, yeah. It takes a special kind of person to be able to, like, I'll give Keanu Reeves the highest kudos because he's not only famous, but he's like one of the nicest, most giving and down to earth people, and I love him for that.
He's breathtaking.
Yeah, that too.
You're a breathtaking random person.
So, Alexander, are you attending the University of Vienna?
Yeah, that's true. I'm studying since 2017. I've been studying communication science.
Mm-hmm.
It focuses a lot on journalism, media, also advertising and public relations. So it's like also a thing that you would say it's pretty broad topic, but you can also get really creative with it. And so far, I really like it.
Yeah, I considered doing a communications dual major. I'm a theater arts major, and I considered doing a dual major and getting a communications one, but there was a lot of like legal classes, and it just wasn't fun. So I wanted to do the technical stuff and not all the laws and all that kind of stuff. So I took one class and decided it was just going to be theater major. But
I think we just had one class which was about the law, and then really only the law concerning the media and like the public broadcasting. So I think it was just in one semester that we had that. Otherwise, it really focuses a lot on journalism and advertising, where you also have to take classes where you actually do stuff. So I mean, sometimes with studies, it can get very theoretical. So I'm very happy that a lot of classes are also where you can actually show off what you can do in advertising or what you can write as a journalist, and also to get feedback on that, because I think that's important for your future work, for the job you're doing, that you get practice and get good at these things, and not that you just hear about the theoretical stuff. Well, that is also important.
Yeah. And while I was doing my research, if my information is not correct, I believe that university is the oldest university in the German-speaking world. It was founded in 1365.
I guess so.
I just think that's amazing. We didn't even have a country then, so.
Good to know.
It must be a beautiful building. I'm going to have to look that up.
Yeah,
buildings.
Definitely. I mean, I had my sister visit once, and when she said, like, we walked through the building, through the library and everything, she said it looked like Hogwarts.
Oh, wow. Now I really have to look that up.
Yeah, I must say it really does look like Hogwarts. I mean, you don't have the flying candles and everything, and the changing stairs, but still, it looks very much like that.
It sounds like a magical place.
Yeah,
I also like the fact that many famous scientists attended this university, and you have these statues and magical monuments of them inside the university, and it's really breathtaking kind of.
Oh, that's nice.
Definitely true. And also with the university, I mean, this is like only the main building, you could say, but it's actually the university is spread out through all of Vienna. So you have different buildings everywhere. So sometimes I have to travel between classes and then just go across the city to another building, because I think because it's so old, it kind of grew over time. And that's why not everything is in one place. Yeah. Definitely. The main building is beautiful, I must say.
Awesome. I have no doubt. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be looking that up. Wait, I need to correct myself on something. Not that they're going to be listening to this, but it wasn't Backpack Kid's oldest brother. It was she's got 3 sons and a daughter, and it was her middle son that played with my son. So okay. Just in case.
Okay.
Still really cool,
yeah. Have you guys, either one of you, presented any brick filming workshops? Were you?
Yeah, we both did some workshops in our career. I like to say. So it was, when was the first workshop? I think in 2013.
Around 2013, yeah.
So we were also pretty young back then, and we held a workshop for kids starting at 10 years, I think 10 years and older of age.
I think so, yeah.
So we had some workshops back then, and this year at Easter time we also did a brick filming week, was it called? It was 3 days, and yeah, the whole morning and until midday we spent the days brick filming with kids.
And it was always like the same kids, so on the next day we would show them something else. On the first day, like, we started building a set, making a story, drawing a storyboard. The second day we would show them how to animate. Third day, like, the voices and everything, editing. So since
I already mentioned, the German brick film community is kind of asleep, and we try to go against that by motivating young people to make brick films and show them the magnificent world of brick filming.
I mean, I've also now done some workshops at home. So, because usually the workshops, we've got a film museum in Klagenfurt. They host occasional workshops on like real life movies and also, what are they called? The animated movies. And now we are sometimes doing these stop motion tutorials, these brick film tutorials, workshops there. And I've even done some at home, at the birthday party, where it was just 10
private
kids.
workshops.
Yeah, some private workshops where I showed them how to do it. And I mean, they always enjoy it because everybody at that age loves Lego and has a lot of Lego. So like with the Brick Film Week, we had even some people who came in and brought their own Lego. Otherwise, we would provide it for them. And they just wanted to include this figure and this character, and they just had so much fun. And I think it's just great because at that age, everybody, as I said, loves Lego, and then seeing that Lego come to life, it's really something else.
Yeah, they're also very creative, these kids. They can't wait to get their ideas into a film and see it on a screen or something.
That's awesome. So you may have just created the next generation of great brick filmers then.
Yeah, we're basically working on it. Not yet, but we try our best.
Excellent.
Yeah,
excellent.
we even had two of the brick filmers, they spoke in our new movie, so Highway to Heaven. The two kids are voiced by kids of the workshop.
Oh.
Because we just recruited them there.
I bet they love that.
Yeah, that must have been so much fun for all of you, including you guys.
Yeah, it was very nice because they were a fan of us. They knew all our movies, and it was a great pleasure for them doing that. And we were also really happy to have this voiceover done, and it was a great experience for all of us.
That is so cool.
Another note I have down here, and I'll say the German word first. Was it cream soup, pumpkin cream soup, some sort of
pumpkin
event?
Cream soup, yeah.
Based on the pictures, it looked like you go and you view a bunch of movies and then eat some pumpkin cream soup, or tell me about it.
Yep, pumpkin cream soup was actually our first bigger real-life film project. So, like we talked about earlier, we are members of the Youth Carinthia Cinematic Film Group, and we already spent 1 or 2 years writing the Drehbuch auf English, writing the script for the movie. And we finally got this done in the autumn of 2018, I think it was.
Yeah.
And we were showing it publicly in a huge cinema, and we were making a whole movie evening where we were even showing our brick films, and it was a great event where we could prove that we can make real life films as well. Not that good as brick films, I have to admit, but we tried.
So yeah, the Kürbiscremesuppe, the pumpkin cream soup, is the title of the movie.
Yeah,
it's just an 8-minute movie.
Okay.
About it's kind of Red Hood, but with a modern twist to it.
Red Riding Hood, yeah.
Okay.
Red Riding Hood, yeah.
Nice.
And
the modern version of it with some. We even have the police car in it, and some criminal story behind.
Okay, and I didn't find. I guess I didn't find that video.
It's not publicly available.
Not public.
Yet.
Do you have a link that you would share with us after this?
Yeah, we could gladly share the link if you promise not to share it as well.
I won't share it with anyone.
Yeah.
Sorry, listeners, you don't get to see it.
Yeah, our secret's one of the perks of being a
Now, maybe in the future, but I think right now they want to keep it because it's still showing at some film festivals, I guess.
Awesome.
They just want to show it afterwards, I think. So maybe we can upload it.
But disclaimer, there's no English subtitles, so it may be a lot harder to understand.
We will work on that.
Another thing I noticed in a lot of your credits is your catering. Can you tell us about your catering expert?
Yeah, catering expert is my mom. Like we mentioned her a lot. Like I think in some videos there's your mom mentioned as well, Alexander.
Probably. I think so, yeah.
Yeah, we do the movies across some months and many weekends, and my mom is always ready with some food to get us going. It's the energy we need.
It's just so nice when you're working on a long shift and you feel that you're getting hungry, but you don't want to quit brick filming. You don't want to quit the scene, and then suddenly the door opens and there's a nice meal.
So halo behind her.
Great practice from my mom, and we like to mention her in the credits as a small Easter egg as well.
Excellent.
See it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that.
And I think we went through many of your German-speaking friends, and one we did not mention. I'm curious if you know. I'm not even sure of his real name. Yetgo? Is he German?
Yeah, we know him. We've met him already at the Steinerei as well.
Okay,
he's German brick filmer. Yeah,
German brick filmer.
He's pretty young as well. I think he's like
he's kind of new to it, I believe.
16, 17 or something.
Yeah.
Oh, really? He's a big supporter. He's always liking my tweets,
big supporter.
So I like that. So I see his name all the time.
Active.
He's super active, and he does really impressive camera animations.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really impressed by his movies.
Yeah, he won the Bric-a-Brac's summer contest last year, I believe.
Yeah, true. I saw that. Yeah,
which was basically like a decathlon for brick filming. So I had a couple of entries into that, but I think he did one for every one of the portions of that event, and he won it. So that was pretty impressive.
Well, he's a pretty impressive guy. He's a shining star in the brick film community.
Yeah, kind of, and also rising, I think.
Rising star,
as well. Yeah. I think he also won the prize for best newcomer this year. So
at the Steinerei, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Cool. It's a shame, y'all. That was the one, the last Steinerei that you were not able to attend. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly. It was in Husum. That is very much in the north of
very far
Germany.
north. Yeah,
it's even farther north than Hamburg, so it's almost Denmark.
Yeah,
it's
on the border to Denmark.
So it was kind of hard to go there, and I think
we would have. You should have rented a car or something and still fly there, and it was.
And also my brother he was busy with finishing school, so he didn't have the time anyways. So we kind of decided not to go this year.
So who is it that decides where they're going to be? Is it just whoever hosts it decides on the location?
It's like every year after the festival, we sit together on a huge table and we eat dinner together, and someone is raising their hand and tells us, I want to host the Steinerei next year.
And as far as I know, I mean, I haven't been there, but this year it was like nobody raised their hands, so I wasn't sure. Uh-oh. But then just some weeks after that, another person, he just said, I'm going to do it. Or actually two brick filmers.
Yeah,
we're going to do it. It's Knauser and AOV Gamer. They're doing it together this year. And it's much closer.
In Leverkusen or something.
Yeah, much closer to us.
Nice,
okay.
Yeah. Do you know any Swiss brick filmers?
Of course. Some. Alegonda, or... No, he's called Silent Films now.
Oh, yeah.
Silent Frames, yeah.
Silent Frames,
mm-hmm.
yeah.
I forgot
he's always makes very impressive films. And I think we met him last year at the Steinerei. Yeah. I think he visited that one.
Excellent.
Because usually he doesn't come that often.
He went there for the first time, I think, yeah.
Yeah, or even the first time. Yeah.
Cool.
He never had been there before, and we met him, and we were like expecting a huge team of brick filmers, but it was this one guy making these amazing videos.
Wow, that's impressive.
And I think there's also another Swiss brick filmer that also attended our own Steinerei, but I'm not quite aware of his name, sadly.
Yeah, no. I just noted he had quite a similar name to me. I think it was Alessandro.
Yeah,
Alexander. So, but I'm not sure if he's active still. But other than that, I can't think of any.
Yeah, because Switzerland is rather small, and the amount of German-speaking people is rather low, because Switzerland shares 3 or 4 languages, like French, German, Italian, and what's the last one called in English? Old Latin or something.
Yeah.
Oh, weird. Did not know that.
Not sure.
Taught me
But there's
something new
only
today.
a small portion of people speaking German in Switzerland.
Okay.
Of course, we can do our nod to Sean Willis now. You can always pipe in with the names of the... if anybody knows, he knows. He's our go-to person for
That's true.
everything.
He knows a lot. I mean, I think he mainly does the Brick Film Wiki, and it's so detailed.
Oh, it's amazing. It blows us away. Yeah, he knows everything. So we always... Right.
We were also really impressed where he gets the information from all the time, because some things are not really public available, and
he still knows it.
Gathers them for the wiki.
Yeah, he knows more about us than we do, so I'm impressed with him all the time.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to. Go ahead.
It's also just really nice to look these things up. I mean, that way you really got like a whole catalog that is showing off all the different brick filmers. So
kind of a CV of every brick filmer. Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Yes, it was very important for the research on this podcast. Although I found a few other places that got information, but the Brick Films Wiki was definitely very valuable for this podcast. Yeah.
So, curious, do you guys listen to any music or podcast or TV while you animate, or you just kind of talk to each other? And what do you...
Well, we love to talk to each other, but if you're animating 13 hours a day, there's not that much to talk about at the end of the day, so we always listen to some music. We share a lot of music taste. We share the taste of our music. And yeah, podcast is an exception, I have to admit. So because we're pretty focused on the frames and how everything is playing out. So music is the way to go for us most of the time.
But yeah, sometimes we put on some podcasts from you, so.
Of course, right?
Yeah.
Excellent. The Lego collection?
Oh, yeah, your Lego collection. I know you guys have a lot of Lego, but how do you acquire most of it? Do you get any from, like, garage sales, stores, online, parents, all of the above?
Commission work.
Yeah, commission work. That's always nice.
Yeah, I mean, also that, but I think nowadays it's mostly that we're buying the parts that we really need. So we first check, does anybody of us have the parts that we need? And otherwise we will order them on Bricklink. Yeah. And sometimes, I mean, now it's... I don't want to flex, but we sometimes also win some sets.
Nice, yeah, definitely. Flex away.
But really in the recent years, we've mostly just bought the things that we need. Also, like for the circus of Morte la Manege, we just bought these tiles that we were needing. And
I think sadly, we have to admit that the time we're playing with Legos is over, finally, sadly. And we're just buying the parts we need, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Occasionally I will buy a set if I really like it.
Now, I know it's hard to choose. Well, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think Lego just got more expensive as well, and it's not easy to afford,
especially as a student.
With special parts you need. So Bricklink is a great website to gather everything you need for your brick films.
Excellent.
Sure. Yeah, I agree with that. Especially when we want to
No advertisement. No, I just like the site.
Yeah, we have to get those wallpaper pieces.
We really got like a basic collection of bricks, so we can build most of the things, and then if there's really something special, we will probably order it because it's cheaper and we just get the things that we want.
Like you mentioned, that the tent of Murder in the Arena, we did not have the pieces to put that together, so we had to wait until the delivery is here.
Right. Yeah, no, that makes sense. And I know it's really hard to choose from so many brilliant videos, but do you guys have a favorite of yours that you've created?
It's like saying you have a favorite child.
Exactly.
No, actually, it's hard. I mean, I have a few videos, mostly, of course, the Steinerei videos that I like, or I think it's usually that's the newest one. At first, I don't like it that much, because I'm very critical with it, and then after some years pass, I come back to it and then I say, yeah, it's really cool that we did that one.
Yeah, so, but I have to say straight away Endangered. I personally prefer Endangered because we kind of went full crazy mode on this one. The whole movie does not make that much sense story-wise as the other ones do, but I really like the art style, the lighting style, and I'm kind of
Yeah, I think it was really the time where we got everything figured out. We first had this like the cool scenery with the cool lighting and lighting and everything, and we also, I think we did a decent job on the mouth animations. So that was really cool.
This big upgrade and extension from Time for Sale, the big progress we made, and I'm still really proud of that progress to this date.
Yeah, I can totally understand that, and I agree with you. Yeah, they're brilliant.
Yeah, and like Alexander mentioned earlier, when we are making this film, like for the Steinerei, we are always so much under pressure that after we finish it, we hate to watch it. Like we cannot watch our movie for like half a year, and then it's good to go again. But we need a break from our own film, basically.
Aww.
I mean, basically, because we have watched it in the process of making it, we watched it so many times that we're kind of sick of it for a little bit. But I mean, personally, I still really like night times. I just I don't like the camera quality, of course, because it was still webcam. But I really like the story, and I've always liked the medieval Lego sets, so that was really cool. And other than that, I mean, I must say now that 1 year has passed, I really like Murder in the Arena. That one's also pretty cool, I would say.
Yeah,
I love that one. That and Endangered are my two favorite.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thanks.
I love those two. But y'all have just
there's something to love about all of them. So I don't think I could pick a favorite.
Yeah, we're kind of trying to create a whole new brand for the movie every year, like this logo we put in the thumbnails and this color scheme around and so on. So we're trying to make this new big blockbuster every year. For
so
us, it's a blockbuster, yeah, so to say. It's only 6 minutes 30 to maximum because of the rule set of the Steinerei. But 6 minutes 30 is enough for us to keep us busy for half a year nearly.
Oh, yeah,
that's true. That's why we don't upload that often.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes quality over quantity is the secret.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah. But, I mean, if you were like going for the YouTube algorithm, that's not the way to go, because I think sometimes it's like more quantity over quality. Because
there are some brick film studios that get so many views. There are like 2 million views in a few days, but as you mentioned, it's more like quantity over quality.
Yeah,
it's not that bad, but it's just a simple Lego Man animation doing something in the everyday life.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think YouTube prefers that because it seems more that the channel is active, while ours, I mean, one movie a year. I don't think the algorithm likes that, but
and also there's the length, like the YouTube algorithm prefers videos with 10 minutes or above and so on. And animating a 10-minute movie, the pain of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it takes a really long time. I mean, we don't upload that often.
Like we often get the question also in our workshops, why don't we make a whole 1.5 hour movie or something? Like, why don't we create something like the Lego movie? And
and
we
then
just
you just
can't
have to
smirk at these comments because
Yeah,
I'll see you in 10 years.
Just say, have you ever made a brick film? That really is all you have to say.
Yeah. I mean, after the workshop, they know that they can't make a movie that long.
And not too many people would want to watch it either. I mean, it's different to go to the movies, but I don't know. Even me personally, I prefer the shorter movies.
Yeah.
You have occasionally like you have Forrest. I mean, there's a few others, but still, I mean, you can watch a 10-minute video and it feels like it's only been like 2 minutes because it's just that brilliant. But
there needs to be a certain level of professionality to it, I think, as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, that's the only way I can watch them anyway. Otherwise, I prefer the shorter one. So I like quality over quantity for sure.
Yeah.
But if people are making a living that way, then I can understand that too. You got to do what works for you.
Of course, yeah. There's nothing wrong with that, but I think we kind of like, after a movie, we like to take a small break, because right now, I mean, the next topic or the next theme of the Steinerei was just announced, but for now we are like good with making no movies, I think. But yeah, I mean, if you
when
really
December starts or something, brick filming time begins again.
Yeah, it's also because now it's summer. You gotta be outside sometime.
Not here. It's too hot here to be outside. So.
Yeah. How hot is it in your city?
Too hot.
It's
Too hot.
It's not extremely hot.
Fahrenheit, of course, or
but it's only in the 90s in Fahrenheit.
Only.
But it's because it's so humid, it feels like it's 110.
No, it feels like it's 210.
Whereas if you're out in California, it can be 90 degrees and it'll feel great. But 90 degrees here in the southeast of the United States
is unbearable,
is miserable,
horrible.
Yeah.
What was the thing you read? It was a meme you read.
Oh yeah, what is it like to live in Georgia? You take a really hot shower, and then you don't dry off, and you put your clothes on when you're still wet and go outside, and that's what it feels like.
Oh my!
Yeah, it's hot.
That's what it's like.
Good to know. Doesn't sound that comfortable.
No, that's why we want to move there.
Okay.
Yeah, don't visit here in the summer if you can help it.
Oh, horrible.
Although when we had the Olympics here in '96, we had some of our best weather ever. It was beautiful during the '96 Olympics in Georgia. But
yeah, that was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago.
It was not too hot back then.
Yeah, it's way too hot now.
I do have one quick question here to Andreas. Your original, and it's still part of, I guess, your channel name, Coco Tatam.
Oh yeah, that's time. That was my original channel name way back when I was creating my YouTube channel. I did not know what to name myself. I hadn't figured out a name for my brick films, and there was this coconut elephant on my desk. And when I was very young, when I was a baby nearly, I said tatam to elephant because I don't know, the stumbling sound or something like that. And I just named my channel Coco Tatam.
That's actually a pretty cool name though.
Like
I'm not quite sure. I love to change it. But yeah.
You're good keeping it the same. I don't like seeing people change their names all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, now that we're on the topic, we're kind of thinking of changing the name, because we work together so much. We're kind of thinking of making a whole studio that is just us working together. That it's not every time A&M Studios and Lego Studio 1. Yeah. So it's just one name for our co-productions, I guess. But we're not quite sure.
It's also kind of struggle in every festival or everywhere our film gets shown, the pronunciation of the names, and it's so long. And we're thinking about fusing our studios for a long time, since we are not making that many brick films separately anymore.
Yeah, and I mean, my name is, not that innovative. It's just Lego Studio, and then because that was already taken, it's point one. So no, but so we're thinking of that, and then also with making a website for that, and we maybe offer the workshops also. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
I normally don't recommend it, but I think it might work out for
because of it fits your circumstances.
Your circumstance, yeah. That's probably a good idea. Excellent.
We're still trying to figure out the name. That's the hardest part, I think.
Yeah.
Well, all the good names like Coco Tam Tam are already taken. So.
I'm quite sure we will not choose Coco Tatum, but but it's a nice memory.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that.
Well, I guess speaking about time flying by fast, we've already been at this for 2.5 hours.
Yeah,
wow.
I think this is going to be our longest one.
You guys have been wonderful.
Yeah.
A long talk already, but I really enjoyed it. It was very
time flies by. Yeah.
Unless there's something else you want, any funny stories or anything else you want to share before we head off.
Ooh, do we have an explicit story? I'm not sure.
Okay.
Cool.
But maybe when we try to figure out how to reduce what does wackeln mean in
that the set shakes.
The shaking of the set. We tried to reduce the shaking of the set, and we had these music chairs that usually go with pianos, and we're always sitting on these chairs, not touching the floor, just to make sure there's no shaking on the set. And we made 2 or 3 films by just sitting on this chair, and our feet hurt
because
crazy.
The camera was on the floor, with a, I don't know what's it called, a tripod.
Yeah.
And it was on the floor, and the floor was a bit shaky, so we sat there for several hours, and I had a cramp afterwards. But
leg cramps every day.
Yeah.
Wow, that is pain. That hurts me just thinking about it.
Yeah,
Wow.
I think Time for Sale was made like this, for example.
Yeah, true.
Completely sitting throughout the whole animating process in an uncomfortable position.
Yeah, and now with the Sony camera, we sometimes put it on the set, on the table, so that way we don't have to worry about shaking, because the table is pretty good, pretty stable.
Yeah. And if it shakes, the set will shake with the camera. So
Exactly. Yeah.
Cool.
Wow, that's gonna hurt me for a while.
I don't know how anybody can animate on the floor doing things and stuff. I know Maxime did some commercial in a car place somewhere where he was animating on the ground. Which I think he had to do it overnight because they had to close the store down so he could work in there overnight. And yeah, ouch.
Oh, and I know something we wanted to ask, and we won't mention the name of the video or anything because I think it happened in a couple of videos, but where they're animating like
your
hands, yeah. It's always neat to see the hands,
human
hands
Yeah.
included in the actual video. And it wasn't, some of it was like live action and some of it you actually did stop motion.
In the movie where
don't mention the movie.
Yeah,
I don't want to mention it, but in the movie, it was actually all filmed. So
we did a small scene where it was stop motion, I think, but most of the time it was filmed.
I think they've done several both ways. Yeah.
Yeah.
We tried making it with stop motion, but it's too hard to keep the hand in the same position.
I mean, maybe it would have worked, but we kind of also were low on time, and that way we could save a lot of time. So
Excellent.
A lot of frames, a lot of time.
Yeah.
Well, it was cool. I always enjoy seeing that, so I like that.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I'm starting to even run low on battery on my computer. I really can't thank you enough for spending this much time with us. It has been just a blast talking to you guys. You're so much fun.
We're so glad that you invited us. Yeah,
it's a great pleasure for us.
And we're happy to have you back anytime. Happy to help you. Happy to voice for you. Whenever you need.
We'll keep that in mind.
Very much.
Thanks.
Excellent.
And we'll look forward to seeing everything that you guys do. Good luck on the on the festivals when you enter, because your work is so brilliant that we're happy to see you winning as much as possible.
Thank you. Cheers to that.
All right. Well, enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll make sure everybody has all the links to see all of your brilliant videos from both of your channels.
Amazing.
So, yeah. And
you too, of course. Have a great week.
Thank you so much. And we'll let you know when this podcast comes out for everybody to enjoy.
Yeah, that would be great.
Perfect.
All right. You guys take care.
Take care.
Right.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much to Andreas and Alexander for spending so much time with us, and thanks to everyone who stuck with us through this entire podcast. Please check out our sponsors and partners on the Brick Filmers Guild homepage, and don't forget to check out Andreas's and Alexander's amazing brick films on their YouTube channels. All of their links will be written in the description under the video. We want to give a huge thank you to our Patreon supporters, Spuggastu, Something's Awry Productions, Frame 5 Studios, Mind Game Studios, Dark Dragon Films, Forest Fire 101, Sanjira, Spencer Katz, and Paganimation. You guys really inspire us to keep creating more of these in-depth conversations with the world's great brick filmers. If you would like to sponsor one of our podcasts, please contact me through one of our social media sites. The sponsors we have are always brick film related and are products that we use ourselves and highly recommend. We would like to thank Kevin MacLeod for his wonderful music, which we use for our podcasts and in our brick films. If you're listening to this podcast on iTunes, please rate and comment. We'd really appreciate that. So, until next time, bye y'all.